Get up and get your day started.
Get up! Get up!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning!
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
There is nothing like beginning your day on a beautiful golf course. And right now we're overlooking the putting green at TPC Southwind. Of course, in a couple of weeks, it'll be very busy with the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Today it'll be kind of busy as well, as it is the Doug Barron Courage Through Cancer Golf Tournament. We are so ecstatic to be out here on this beautiful Monday. Welcome into Sports 56 Mornings on this Monday, July 20th, 2026. Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on location. Jay Ham producing back in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. You can check them out at 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. I say beautiful for the time being. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. It's 79 degrees with a slight breeze. But the forecast is for some rain today. Hopefully not that much, and it won't interfere in this great golf event. But there is a chance of rain, about an 80% chance of rain. The high temperature today of 95 degrees. Hour one of the program is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery at 305 South Front Street, producing Tennessee whiskey, bourbon whiskey, Honeybell citrus vodka, and Formula 10 gin. Old Dominick Distillery invites you to have a sip of Memphis, discover downtown Memphis, and raise a glass to the city's history with free distillery tours through September 7th. Locals and visitors alike can book a free tour of Old Dominick's downtown Memphis distillery, where you can learn how award-winning spirits are made from grain to glass. Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirit, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. You can learn more at olddominick.com. As I mentioned, we're out here at TPC Southwind. It is the Doug Barron Courage Through Cancer Golf Tournament benefiting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And we got a lot to get to here on the program today. It's also the start of SEC Media Days in Tampa. Our man Brett Norsworthy is there. He'll be joining us Monday through Thursday this week at 7:25. That includes today, where Missouri, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Kentucky will be the first teams up for this fun week of the SEC Media Days. And the week culminates with the American Conference Media Days on Thursday and Friday from St. Petersburg. So in the region, the same area as the SEC Media Days, the American Conference Media Days will be taking place. We'll talk some Grizzlies as they lose a heartbreaker in the Summer League Championship game in Vegas. Spain, the winner of the World Cup, as the World Cup comes to an end after 6 weeks, but it was fabulous, at least in my opinion. The British Open, a surprise winner in Ryan Fox taking home the Claret Jug. We got a lot of Major League Baseball news, including another unbelievable game for our good buddy Hunter Goodman, the former Memphis Star and Arlington High School standout. So that is your lineup for today. You could always hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines by calling in or texting in at 901-360-8255. But Eli, always delightful to be out here. Like I said, in a couple of weeks, we'll be out here for the FedEx St. Jude Championship, but today for a very worthy cause.
Yeah, and that's it looks like the FedEx St. Jude Championship out here. The tents and things are up, and the build-out is mostly done for that tournament. So, yeah, it gets you thinking about that when you get out here and see everything ready to go. Of course, beautiful golf course, fantastic golf course. Looking forward to getting out there and playing it today, and certainly always appreciate any opportunity to play this golf course and any opportunity to help out the folks at Courage Through Cancer, John Neal and company. They do such a great job, and we're happy to do whatever we can to help them out and just benefit a great cause at St. Jude.
Absolutely. John's the man. We'll chat with him a little bit later on in the show. But, again, I'm looking at the skies right now, and I see some blue up there, and hopefully that'll be the case, and the prognosticators will be wrong as far as what the weather could be today. But we are looking forward to the next 3 hours, and then looking forward to hitting that little white ball out here on one of the best courses you'll see in the entire Mid-South, and that's TPC Southwind. So we start with the summer. Before we do that, Jay Ham, good morning. Welcome in. How are you?
Good morning to you fellas, man. I'm just trying to stay cool the best as I possibly can.
I know. I went out and played golf yesterday, and I'm telling you, it was It was tough. I'm glad my buddy had a lot of things to keep me cool as far as ice rags and things of that nature. But you need it if you're going to be outside. But I think the smartest thing is to stay inside. And hopefully the folks enjoyed a lot of different sporting events that happened over the weekend, from the World Cup final to the Summer League final in Las Vegas to the British Open. It was quite the weekend in the world of sports. Things will slow down a little bit now, but we got NFL camps that'll be opening up in the next week. We got rookies reporting this week, so before too long, it'll be the pigskin. And, of course, with SEC Media Days, we say it's when Phil Steele visits our show, but a lot of people think it's the official start of the college football season when SEC Media Days hit. But yesterday, Eli, the Grizzlies had a chance to win the Vegas Summer League for the second time. They're 1-1, their third championship game final. And they had the Warriors down 10 after three quarters and ended up falling to Golden State 94-90. Yaxel Lendenborg, the player of the game, with 21 points, 10 rebounds to lead the Warriors. As he said afterwards, finally got one on Boozer, that it's always going to be a battle with him and Cam. And then he went on to say, so Lendenborg now trying to get himself into that Draymond Green category of hated Warriors, says the Grizzlies' butts got tight in their Summer League loss.
Well, I think what happened is the Grizzlies, now while it is good for the Summer League, when you've got a bunch of guys who are a part of your team, like they're throwing out an entire lineup of guys who are going to be a part of their team.
Right. Right.
And the problem is, so many of those guys trained last year in tanking. And so I think in the fourth quarter, they forgot what you're supposed to do. They don't understand trying to win the game in the fourth quarter. They understand trying to lose the game in the fourth quarter. I mean,
so that's it, huh?
Omax throwing that last pass out of bounds, a beautiful tank move right there. Like, don't even get the inbounds pass to anybody. Just launch it across court and out of bounds. I think that they just had flashbacks to last year and said, all right, this is how we do. This is how we do things. We'll score 14 points in the fourth quarter, and we should be able to lose this game by doing so.
We know how to lose. We're very good at it. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Now, Lendenborg went on to say, after their butts got tight, they puckered up. You know what I mean? Some of us are built for the moment, and some aren't. Now, is that a shot directly at Cam Boozer? Lendenborg, part of the Michigan National Championship team. Duke, with all their talent, fell short. Lendenborg already making himself enemy number one.
Well, I'll give him credit. He was outstanding in that fourth quarter. He went on that run basically by himself, where he scored, I think it was 7 in a row, or he ended up with 9 in the fourth altogether, but I think he scored just the 7 in a row. He made some big-time shots in the fourth quarter. It was the thing I like is, one, I like the fact that the Grizzlies just said, hell with it, we're going to go for a championship.
Sure. I do too.
One, because it is good to get these guys the idea of what it takes to win games. Again, many of the guys just spent last year trying to lose games. So learning how to win, those types of things, playing these guys as much as they did. I would have never guessed in a million years Cedric Howard would have played as many Summer League games as he did. I wouldn't have guessed Cameron Boozer would have played as many games as he did. They ended up playing 5 and 7 days. I mean, I would have never thought that would be a thing going out there, but they decided, you know what? Hey, we're out here. There's a title on the line. Let's go try and win it. And the thing is, like, Golden State clearly wanted to win it as well. Like, you could tell, like, those guys, if you're playing in the game, it means something to you. And so I think it was great just to see both teams really trying to win a Summer League title.
Yeah, there's some good young talent on that Golden State team with Richard and, of course, Lendenborg. You had Cryer that came up big. I had never, quite frankly, heard of Davon Smith. And he went for 21 points and 9 rebounds, and that guy was brilliant. For the Grizzlies, as you mentioned, I was surprised as well that Coward played as much as he did, that Boozer played as much as he did. I like, as you did, the fact that they went for it. Coward had 28 points, 6 rebounds. Boozer didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but had 12 points, 12 rebounds. Javon Small, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. I think he has probably solidified a standard contract, I would say, which could be doomsday for Walter Clayton Jr., but there's still moves that have to be made by the Grizzlies organization. It's unfortunate that Clayton wasn't able to play at all in the Summer League, whether it be in Salt Lake or in Las Vegas. We did see Kareem Lopez, but only for the one game for 11 minutes, so we didn't get a real good look at Kareem Lopez. But, look, there are no questions about Boozer. Boozer's as advertised. So even though they lost, and it is a team that has 3-4 guys, 2 that are going to be starters, probably 4 in the rotation, and so you expect them to get this far. But it's unfortunate the way it ended. Give Golden State credit. More fuel for the fire for the Grizzlies when they play the Warriors. Not that they need any more, but they have more of it. But overall, I would say it was a very successful summer league for the Grizzlies. Carson Cooper, I thought he showed a lot of good things. 16 points yesterday. He will be a two-way guy. You'll be calling his action in South Haven for the most part. So I thought there were a lot of positives to come out of it. We'll see what moves they make. But again, if you play with 2 starters from the regular season, and of course, Coward's one and Boozer will be one, most teams do not have 2, let alone 1. So you expect to do well in the summer league, and they did.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope that roster, a team full of guys who are on standard NBA deals, who are, part of your team, better look good as a collection in summer league. We're playing against a bunch of guys a lot of times that are not going to be a part of their NBA team, may not even be a part of the G League team. So it was they represented themselves well. Boozer, he didn't shoot the ball well in some games. Like just about everybody out there, especially the rookies, had games where they didn't shoot the ball necessarily well, but he looked the part that you think he should look like. I mean, he's just got a very polished game for a guy who now is 19 years old, just turned 19 years old. It's just, he looks the part of it. Coward, again, had games where he didn't shoot the ball well. Good to see him end on a night where he goes 5 for 5 from 3-point range and shoots the ball well. And really the last couple of games played very well and looked like a dominant guy in summer league. So good for him to have that confidence. And, they come up a little bit short, but it was, overall, I think a very successful summer league for them. Getting Coward and Boozer that many minutes together, which again, I would never guessed in a million years that would happen. That certainly doesn't hurt things. Now you can start thinking about the camp and regular season and all that stuff, which will get here before we know it.
Now, I assume we will get texts from people that will go off on the officials because there were some questionable things down the stretch. Now, look, Boozer had a wide-open top of the key 3. He missed it. But Cam Boozer had that rebound and that putback and then the phantom timeout. I think Lendeborg did call timeout, but it might have been after the fact where he already scored. That doesn't take away from, as you mentioned, Omax going side to side with an out-of-bounds pass. I mean, it was one of the worst inbound passes I've ever seen in my life, and that's a veteran guy. So, yes, there were things that maybe the Grizzlies got the wrong part of the whistle from the officials, but they had their chances.
Yeah, I mean, the timeout was a terrible call because she actually granted it for the head coach. When if you watch the replay from underneath the basket, you could clearly see by the time the coach calls the timeout, he had lost the ball. Like he did not have possession of the basketball. So it was it was a bad call by her. But it is what I'm not going to worry about that. And by man, Brent Haskell was leading that crew, and I will never say a bad word about Brent Haskell. He's my favorite G League official there is. And he loves Memphis, by the way. He is the best explainer after instant replay reviews in the history of basketball.
Really?
He comes over, he gives you a full detailed explanation, and then always at the very end says, does anybody have any questions? He always opens it up for questions after he explains the instant replay.
Really, you can have a little Q&A.
Like he will literally, if you have a question, you can therefore ask.
Have you ever asked him a question?
We've never had to. He's so thorough in his explanation. There isn't a possibility you would have a question about anything that he said. He literally goes through step by step everything they looked at, saw, and why they made the decision.
That's all you can ask for.
But just in case you have a question, I'm like, hey, what'd you have for dinner last night? I don't know, but I usually talk about that before the game with him. So he's my guy. But no, it was. So yeah, they should not have gotten that timeout. But again, who cares? It's the summer league.
Yeah, and I could dissect things. Look, I'm far from a coach, but I thought after they had called the timeout, I would have brought Housen into the game because there's the threat of the three-point shot, and maybe it loosened up the defense a little bit. He had a couple of guys in there. Well, Hendricks can shoot a three from time to time. The bigs can shoot threes from Memphis. That's a really good thing going into the season. And they got Boozer and Edey and Hendricks and certainly Quentin Post who can shoot threes. That's great because you're not worried about teams backing off those guys. But in this case, I thought maybe bringing Housen as a little something else to think about for the defense.
I don't know that they were going to care about a Brendan Housen who hadn't played in the entire game.
But that's what I mean.
I don't think they were going to care.
That's what I mean. You bring him in and they go, all right, they're bringing in the sharpshooter here. They're going to go to him, and then you end up not going to him and basically just trying to fool him a little bit. But overall, again, I can't complain about what I saw. Let me bring Jay Ham back in. Jay Ham, give me your thoughts on the role for the Grizzlies in the Summer League, including Salt Lake City and through Vegas. What were your thoughts overall of what they did?
I only saw a little bit, and I'm going to echo pretty much what Eli was just saying in the ending. They had a habit of learning, pretty much knowing how to lose. Now they're trying to get in that habit of breaking that habit and fostering in new habits to learn how to win. Just a young team starting over, going through the process. Good run, though. Good run, good development. A lot of people shoot the ball bad in Summer League. I was looking at some of those stats from some of the great players, that are active now. These guys shot horribly in their Summer League, runs and whatnot. But it's Summer League. It's a good time. Everybody gets their reps up. It's a good deal. Good starting point for them.
It's interesting that during the Summer League, you get 10 fouls. But in the championship game, or maybe the semis as well, it's the normal 6 and you're out. And Lendenborg had 3 pretty quick, and then there were a couple that were very close to being called fouls. I'm wondering if it was the 10 fouls, they would have called fouls on those plays, but because it was not and went back to the regular rules, that they kept the whistle in their pocket.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, it's Summer League. Let them play.
Let the kids play.
we certainly in Summer League don't need a bunch of free throws. There's a reason they went to the free throw rule that they did. Move these games along. That game was done.
Changed it.
That game was done in an hour and 45 minutes. They didn't change the free throw rules.
Oh, they didn't change it? No. Are you sure?
I'm positive. I watched it all night. They shot one free throw.
I thought they went back to the regular one. Okay, my mistake. All right, one other note from the NBA. 2 other notes, actually. Moussa Cisse, the former Memphis Tiger, 2-time Memphis Tiger, he had agreed to a 2-year offer sheet with the Knicks on Saturday, and then the Mavericks came back and matched it. Salary half guaranteed for the first year, non-guaranteed for the second year. But good for Moussa Cisse. Again, to me, a guy who was a really good defensive player in college, but not good enough, in my opinion, that it would get him a job in the NBA. But I was wrong. But he's also started to become a little bit better offensively, and thus the opportunity last year and now the contract. So congrats to Moussa Cisse.
Absolutely. Heck, even if he ends up getting cut, he's still getting a little over $1 million for that, and made some money last year on the 2-way deal. Like, he's making money playing basketball. Good, and he'll certainly continue to have that opportunity no matter what. So, good for him to get that type of deal. And obviously, for them to match the offer means the Mavericks do like him and they want him around. So, I would expect that he'll probably be there all year long.
Anytime something happens positively for a local product, we're very happy. Moussa Cisse out of Lausanne. But here's the thing. As you mentioned, Cisse kept with Dallas with what they did in the draft and making the trade to get Santi Aldama. You got a couple of guys now that are expendable, and according to reports, P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford are both on the trade block in Dallas for somebody who wants to swoop in and get a big. I think the Grizzlies are fine with their bigs, but there's other teams that may be a little bit deficiency in that department. And then we had the NBA trade yesterday that was, I guess, not shocking because we knew that Oklahoma City had been working all offseason to get under that second apron, and they had to make some moves and already made a few trades. They make another one with Lou Dort, who they had signed earlier in the summer. The all-defensive wing goes to the Hawks in a 3-team trade. Oklahoma City gets 3 second-round picks and gets under the apron. The 2024 number 1 overall pick, Zachary Ricochet, goes to the Mavs, so the Hawks give up on him pretty quickly. and Ryan Nembhard ends up in Atlanta. So the Hawks end up getting Lou Dort and Ryan Nembhard, and the Hawks have put themselves together a really nice roster.
Yeah, certainly not surprising. We knew that Lou Dort probably wasn't going to be back. They pick up the player option just so they can, and it's a good move it's being a very good move by them, because they could have just not picked up the option and let him go, but they end up getting 3 second-round picks by picking up the option, and then trading him away and they create a trade exception, things like that. So again, Sam Presti continues to just acquire assets in these moves, and they've saved something like $300 million now in salary and tax bills. And I mean, in the end, like Dort in the playoffs, like especially if A.J. Mitchell would have been healthy there at the end, and Jalen Williams, like he really wasn't going to be playing anymore. Like basically the 3 guys they've gotten rid of were not really going to be a part of the rotation. Now they have trimmed all the fat from their roster. Next year, if they're trying to stay under apron, stuff like that, they got to figure out who it is going to be, because now they have pretty much trimmed the fat off the roster to save the money this year.
But it's interesting. Yes, they did trim the fat, but those guys are all quality players that will help their new teams. That's how rich they were with talent, Oklahoma City, that they're not only able but have to get rid of some of those guys, and they all could play. But there's only 5 guys on the court at once. So they will help out their new teams, and Lou Dort will certainly help out the Atlanta Hawks.
The Hawks on the wing, boy, with Dort and Dyson Daniels, that's some, and then Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They will be able to guard some people. They got some defensive dudes.
They can guard and they can score, led by Jalen Johnson. I like Atlanta, but then again, there's about 8-9 rosters in the East I really like, and of course, LeBron James, another weekend without saying anything about his next destination, although I think absolutely 100% he knows. Old Dominic Distillery, they know how to produce spirits, Tennessee whiskey, bourbon whiskey, Honeybell citrus vodka, Formula 10 gin. Check them out online at olddominic.com and head on down to 305 South Front Street. Again, take that tour, free tours through September 7th. The Distillery Bar is fantastic to have an award-winning craft spirit or a local beer. It's Old Dominic Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Just underway from the Courage Through Cancer golf tournament at TPC Southwind. But when we come back, we're heading to Tampa for the first time this week. Brett Norsworthy is there for us covering SEC Media Days. We're looking forward to talking to Brett all week long, and we'll get that first conversation when we return. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
When you're vacationing in your RV, there are some things you can always count on. Laying out on a hammock, waking up to birds chirping, and board games with the family.
What? It's not cheating.
Frank, you're scaring the kids.
Oh, come on, guys. We're having fun. It's family time.
With Progressive, your RV is protected 24/7, so you're prepared for whatever you don't see coming.
Technically, it's a loophole.
It's a children's board game. You're a grown man, Frank.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Mid-South, we've hatched a plan for fun, so get ready, set, and drive at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. Hey, you want great MPG? We Gossett at 40 MPG highway estimate. In 2026 Jetta S, just $249 a month. Jetta S249 a month. You want it, you love it, and we got it in 2026 Tiguan 2.0 TS. Only $269 a month. Tiguan $269 a month at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. Plus, take a good look at 2026 Atlas SE. We got it now just $329 a month. $329 a month for Atlas SE. You want it, we got it covered at Gossett Volkswagen 1875 Covington Pike. Online, GossettVWMemphis.com. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
36 month lease, Atlas TC 564,481, MSRP 41,911, Jetta TMO 312,217, MSRP 25,791, Tiguan TMO 43,763, MSRP 32,881, includes all rebates and incentives, must be financed through Volkswagen Financial Services, PF 895, excludes tax title and license with approved credit offer in 73126, dealer stock only, MPG estimate provided by EPA.
Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, come hang out on the back porch. An hour full of the hottest topics and important people around the SEC and only the SEC. The Back Porch, Saturday morning at 10 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic building pretty good right now. Pretty much on schedule this time of the morning, especially over here around the airport. It's pretty busy up through Midtown. Already certain sections on 240 there at South Parkway. It's heavy now at times inbound on Sam Cooper, especially there as you come off the interstate. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck having transmission issues. Even if your light comes on, let them check it out. Amco Transmissions, 2 locations right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back out here at TPC Southwind. Today, the Courage Through Cancer Golf Classic going on. Looking forward to being a part of that and helping raise money for St. Jude out here as we've got a little golf going on out here. Kicking off down in Tampa, Florida is SEC Media Days, and our very own Brett Norsworthy is down there. We've got some great sponsors to help bring you coverage from SEC Media Days all week long, including Bangers Pickleball, Landers Ford, Sissy's Log Cabin, Jason's Deli, First National Bank and Trust, Jim's Place in Collierville, Gould's Salon and Spa, Ronnie Grisanti's in Regalia, All-Star Chevrolet in Alabranch, Jimmy McElroy and Associates, and Capitol Grill as well. And Brett Norsworthy will join us each and every morning through Thursday, and he joins us today to get things kicked off down there in Tampa. Good morning, Brett Norsworthy.
Good morning, Eli. Glad to be with you and glad to be at SEC Media Days. Ready for the real football, the end of football.
Yes, it is. Do they have some sort of like fan fest thing going on down there?
Yeah, I had Fan Fest last night outside in the outdoor area right by where the Tampa Bay Lightning play. Boy, what a great arena that is. And, you know, they've won the Stanley Cup a couple of times. And one time they won it and waited a couple of years before they ever played again. They held the championship for a while when they had the protracted lockout like baseball looks like it's going to do. But really good crowd out there last night. And the overwhelming biggest number of fans, every team was represented, but the number of fans there, of course, in their big orange, UT Volunteers, not Texas, but Tennessee, had the most fans there last night in Tampa, Florida.
Brett, good morning. How's the setup in Tampa on Radio Row?
It is great, Greg. They've done a good job, and I know they got a great, great offer and great bid to come here and see. The SEC times are tough. Money's really tough in the SEC, so they had to go to wherever's paying the highest rights fees. And we know everybody's scrounging for money in the SEC. Everybody's broke, but they have a great setup. I would say it would be similar to something. Maybe even bigger than you probably saw in Atlanta one time, but it's even bigger than it was in Dallas 2 years ago. Got a great setup, and now with 16 teams, all three of us have covered this league. When we went media days with 12 teams, we didn't realize how easy those days were, did we?
Yeah, right. Exactly. The Fan Fest thing, have they been doing that? Obviously, it's been years since I've been there. Have they been doing that, or is this the first time they've done the Fan Fest?
No, it was the first time, and they had a huge, of course, corporate sponsor for it. And the SEC really put a lot into it, and tried to drive a lot of people to it. big thunderstorm right before. It may have hurt the crowd a little, but it was a good crowd for it. They did SEC Live there and rolled out the debut of Chase Daniel. Got to love him. Always like a quarterback with a beer gut.
Well, today you got Missouri, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Kentucky. And, of course, in our neck of the woods, so many Vols fans here in Tennessee, an alum here. We'll get to that in a second. But I did want to talk to you about Missouri because at the helm, at quarterback, is a guy you're very familiar with in Austin Simmons, who, as everybody knows, started out the year last year at Ole Miss as the starter. And then we know what happened. He got hurt, and Trinidad Chambliss took over the job and never looked back. So now Simmons combines with an Ahmad Hardy, who's unfortunately was shot during the offseason, and hopefully he'll be ready to go. Do you know anything more on Hardy? Will he be ready from the start? And what do you think about Simmons at Mizzou?
I think about Hardy. They think he's going to be okay. If not opening weekend, certainly early. But I love Austin Simmons. Ole Miss would have been really in good hands last year with him. And ironically, they brought him to SEC Media Days last year, and now Mizzou didn't this year. I thought he might be one of those rare to make an appearance 2 years in a row for two different teams. I don't know that we've had that yet. We're gonna have it. We may even have the very rare trifecta some year with all the player movement. But Austin Simmons is a great youngster. But also Caden Lee transferred from Ole Miss to Mizzou with Austin. They're best friends. They're really tight. And I've already told a couple of Mizzou media guys, Eli Hoff, that we're going to have on Sports Time, just one of the great youngsters ever. As tough as he can be. He's not even bigger than I am, but he can run a lot faster than I can. He's got great hands. And I told him, I said, you want Caden Lee to get that first drop out of the way, first series of the year. And I'm not kidding you. Whenever he has that first drop, he will tell you it won't happen again, and it won't. And he catches everything. Y'all remember a couple catches he made in the Sugar Bowl and just got belted on them and just thrown around like a rag doll, pops up every time. Just a great young man. And so is Austin Simmons. Mizzou's going to be a lot better. They missed last year at quarterback, and Eli Drinkwitz had not missed in his Mizzou years at quarterback. He's a really good quarterback coach, a really good offensive coach. They missed last year with Pribula. They won't miss with Austin Simmons.
It's, they're Missouri's interesting because they're in a category with a lot of these teams in the SEC that even when you're good, we know somebody's got to lose all of these games. And now adding the ninth conference game, it just gets really difficult for these teams that are going to be just the bottom half of the conference.
Eli, it does. And now, I no matter what it does to conference, no matter what it might do come college football playoff time, I think if for no other reason, we needed that ninth game for the fans. The fans are never, ever, ever thought of anymore. What parking costs, what ticket costs, what concession costs, what the seat license, whatever you want to call it, to the foundation donation. And finally, we gave the fans more help because the SEC fans showed it during the COVID year when the SEC stayed in nothing but conference. Most everybody did as well. But people really like that. And I wish we would go to one more game. I'm glad we went to 9, but I wish we would go to another conference game that didn't count against you. You're having the ACC do that. Opening weekend in the ACC, you're going to have a great game, but it will not count in the conference standings. But for this year, I'm glad we're to 9. But it could cost somebody at the end of the year. It could cost a bid. What if it costs 2 and you just had 2 or 3 teams in the college football playoff? I was watching ACC Media Days last week, Big 12 Media Days last week. If they get more than their champion in, it comes right off the tread of the SEC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, if it costs the SEC a couple of bids, then Greg Sankey will say, fine, we'll go to 24. we're fine with 24.
Well, maybe. And isn't that something, guys? And we've all done this long enough, and our listeners know this. In the 90s, all I heard 2 huge complaints about college football is we don't have a playoff and we need to pay the players something. Pay the players something. Now we're paying the players and we have a playoff and everybody's just as mad as we were in the 90s about college football.
Yes. They want something else or they want more. It's always the case. Brett Norsworthy is joining us from Radio Row down in Tampa, covering SEC Media Days, day 1 of 4. You mentioned the Big Orange have kind of taken over Tampa. here's the thing. They don't want to have to return to Tampa, if you know what I mean, for a bowl game. They want to be in the playoffs, make some noise, go far. The question, though, is the quarterback, as I see a rainbow out here at TPC Southwind. But the quarterback situation right now is a little tentative. What do you think of Tennessee's chances this year to go far?
Well, you're right. They don't want to come to Tampa, and that's the zero-sum nature for everybody in the SEC now. If you're not in the playoffs, I'm sorry for all the bowls. I mean, even to Orlando, even to Tampa, even to Jacksonville, people do not want to go bowling anymore if you're not in the playoffs, and especially if you start the year dreaming of playoffs. I don't know if Tennessee's dreaming of playoffs, but they were in it 2 years ago, so they've had a taste of it when they went up to Columbus and got hammered by the eventual national champion. But I trust Heupel with the quarterback position, but he's got a lot to choose from. We love George McIntyre. We love that family. We love his dad at a couple of different places at Memphis, at Ole Miss, as head coaching places. And I remember the grandfather of this George McIntyre. His granddad was George McIntyre, a very popular coach and really good man. But I think the eventual quarterback at Tennessee will be the very athletic Faison Brandon. You got to go with that run pass option guy. And right now for McIntyre, it looks to me like his body really needs to develop some. It looks like Brandon's more game one ready than he.
That thing, I called McIntyre's games when he was in high school a few different times when he played against Christian Brothers. I mean, I don't know where he stands now weight-wise, but, like, he was a string bean at that point in time. Yeah. He's got a cannon. He's got the arm, all that stuff, but I just don't – like, at that point, thinking of him as a guy in the SEC, I was always scared for his health because he was so skinny at those times.
Yeah, he is, and you did. That's right. And opening day, they open against Furman. I think you're going to see a lot of different guys play that day. And then they go to and on campus at the Rambling Wreck to play Georgia Tech, and they were once in the SEC together. And at one time, a really good rival game would always be kind of early in the year. And Georgia Tech, famous for Coach Bobby Dodd being there. And once upon a time, about 100 years ago, he played at Tennessee.
Well, the thing, too, with Tennessee is the schedule works out well. Like, again, you're in the SEC. You're going to have tough games. But when you look at the road games being Arkansas, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt, three of them, now you do have to go Texas A&M. That's hard. And you get Texas, which is at home. Again, you're going to play tough games. But that collection of road games is about as favorable as you could get.
Yeah, you sign up for those roadies. But one, they have really circled. And it'll be tough on Peyton Manning that day. But he's going to pull for blood. I couldn't believe somebody asked him, I guess at Manning Passing Academy, who he would be for that day. I mean, that he's going to be for his nephew, and he should be. And that's going to be a tough day for him. And he learned the lesson of that, having to watch his dad pull for Tennessee over Ole Miss. But for Arch that day to go into Knoxville, they wanted him and wanted another Manning. For him to go in there wearing number 16, that'd be a lot of pressure on him that day. But the Manning family, they eat pressure for breakfast, lunch, and supper.
Brett, what do you think of, speaking of quarterbacks, what do you think about John Mateer and Oklahoma's chances? They're of course today under the microscope as well.
Greg, a year ago, right now, quarterback rankings, I had John Mateer number one, and then he was never really healthy after that. We saw a scrappy, a lot of gamesmanship out of him, but I don't know if we ever saw him healthy last year. They say that he is, and all the reports from Manning Passing Academy, he was the most impressive SEC quarterback down there. The body type, arm strength, and we know he's very, very athletic. And Oklahoma got a taste of the playoffs last year, and I think it's crucial for Brent Venables to do it again. He's always been popular, if for no other reason. They wanted to make it work after being jilted by Lincoln Riley. They want Venables to be superior to Lincoln Riley at USC because he really broke their hearts with his exit. And so Venables this year, I think Heupel and Venables both could play their way onto an uncomfortable seat. Maybe not high, but way too uncomfortable.
Well, week 2 at Michigan, we find out a lot about them early once again.
We sure do, and Michigan with Kyle Whittingham, they'll be playing Michigan this year with a lot better coach and a lot better organization than they got last year when they really kind of escaped with that win at Norman, but it set the early tone for OU last year in winning that game.
I would expect a much better Bryce Underwood than they saw in the second game of his college career. As you said, he's getting better coaching now, and he's got a year under his belt. So I just think it'll be a lot better Bryce Underwood they face.
I think they will face that, and also at the Big House. That will be that will be something, and we know the give and take on SEC and the Big Ten, and just frankly, I mean, there's no frankly to it. It's just reality. The Big Ten is ahead of the SEC right now. 3 different champions, other bowl success against the SEC. I don't know why it's so hard for some SEC partisans to admit that. I mean, to the victor go the spoils. Shall we say, hail to the victor?
And it doesn't mean that it will last forever, right? The SEC hoping to break that streak this year. Brett Norsworthy joining us from Tampa and SEC Media Days. And then the final team today.
Hold it, the security guard's having me removed for saying that.
Leave our Brett alone, for goodness sake. Final team, as Eli alluded to earlier, somebody has to lose in the SEC. And I just have a feeling it might be a rough year for Kentucky. But Will Stein takes over. They finally make the move. Stoops, long-term coach there, did a good job with the Wildcats, a very good job. What do you think about Will Stein, a nice, young, innovative mind that takes over the Wildcats team?
I thought it was a really fresh hire, and it just timed out for Mark Stoops, didn't it? I mean, he should have taken that or should have made sure he had that A&M job when he had it. He needed a reboot, and the Kentucky fans, they really tired of kind of his success. His success, frankly, was in the 7-5, 8-4, breakthrough 9-3 realm, and that's just where most think you are at Kentucky. But everybody is scanning the globe, trying to find who could be the next Indiana. And I'm not going full bore predicting Will Stein's going to pull a Kirk Cignetti, but isn't it kind of the same model? Basketball first, basketball country. Never have really had that kind of great success in football. And what if that young coach gets his shot and he does it? Now, if he does anything close to what Kirk Cignetti is doing, he's not staying at Kentucky as long as Mark Stoops did. And Mark Stoops finally broke Bear Bryant's Kentucky winning record. I think Mark Stoops' win record at Kentucky State. We know Stein would get out of there pretty fast if he had any early success.
It's just, I mean, it's funny with Kentucky. It's just one of those schools, like you said, like you go 8-5, throw in maybe occasional 9-win year. The fans love you, but after a while, that gets old. It's like, okay, we've seen this. Now we want more. It may not be possible for Kentucky in the SEC. I mean, again, week 2 they get Alabama. Week 3 they're at Texas A&M. So good luck, Will Stein. You get that win against Youngstown State, and then good luck to you.
Yeah, real good luck to you. But they have a game against Alabama week 2 that they really have circled. That's one that, and Ole Miss has walked into some wild Kentucky settings. That one will really be amped up for week 2 for Kentucky and Alabama. And if Alabama out of the gate, they're shaky against either East Carolina or up at Kentucky, it's going to start for Kalen DeBoer. But it just is that 7-5, 8-4 model you talked about, 9-3 model, Eli, you talked about. Haven't we seen some of the discontent with that with Tiger fans locally? I mean, there was a time, Greg, when you first moved to this market in 95, 96, to think where Tiger football has now ascended to. 3 straight coaches, all those quarterbacks, all that winning, all that fun, and we still want more.
That's the human spirit. Last thing for you, Brett. Greg Sankey, will they put a time limit? Because I think he will be asked about 1,000 questions when he speaks. When is he scheduled to speak? And what do you think are the 2-3 most important things that he needs to address?
He's going at 8 o'clock Central Time. He's going in just
15
a
minutes.
little bit.
Yeah,
and boy, the time. Me and Easter. How did that happen? It used to never bother me. Getting up birthday candles is what happened. I mean, 1 hour. I mean, no way at the British Open can I ever keep up with what time it is. But he's going to have to address a lot of things, off the field, because whether he likes it or not, and sometimes I think he is reluctant to be in this role but you are. The time's called on you to be one of the leaders of college football, if not the leader. If you're not the leader, you're with your colleague at the Big Ten, and that seems to be fractured a little bit right now. But he's going to be asked about everything off the field, paying the players, the 2014 playoff that he doesn't want. He wants to stay at 12, and the Big Ten, and they have veto power. They say it's going to be 12 or 24. I think Sankey would go to 16, but let me correct that. So I think he would. But the Big Ten is saying 12 or 24. Well, you let the SEC be left out with that ninth game. And so a bunch of a logjam, a 9-3 team, he's going to be fit to be tied.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a bunch about the Protect College Sports Act. I mean, it's all that stuff that's going to – there's very, very little on-field stuff anymore for them to talk about.
It really isn't. You know, not a lot of big rule changes. I don't think it's impacting it. After the ninth game, that was always the red herring. That was always the one that would get asked about when now we're at it, and you're not going back. Even if you have a lack of success, they're not ever eliminating that game. And I'm so glad for the fans to have some meat on the bone with buying those ticket prices. One thing I would like to ask you about, he was adamant in Destin about the end of Cupcake Weekend. We know that's the weekend before Thanksgiving. Well, are we just moving Cupcake Weekend, or is it really the end of it?
That's a good point. Hey, Brett, we got some great sponsors. That's why you're there.
We do have great sponsors, and one of them includes Sissy's Log Cabin, sponsor of our Texans. And guess what? Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler of the hometown teams like the Grizzlies and the Tigers, in that great location at Poplar and Perkins, the Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, 9,000 square feet in Longwood, with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more. Since 1970, with all the great locations across the Mid-South, the official jeweler for the Grizzlies and at FedEx Forum with the floor seat lounge. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and extraordinary shopping experience because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Hey, Brett, great job as always. Of course, you'll be on from 3 to 6. Are you on with Johnny as well today?
At high noon with Johnny Radio. You got it.
Check out Brett. He is the hardest working man in show business. We got 4 new ones tomorrow that we'll talk about when he joins us. That's Auburn, Georgia, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. All right, go listen to the commissioner. Thank you, Brett.
You got it. Thank you, man. Have a good day. Swing hard.
We will, and often.
And our other sponsors, Bangers Pickleball, Landers Ford in Collierville, Jason's Deli, First National Bank and Trust, Jim's Place in Collierville, Gould's Salon and Spa, Ronnie Grisanti's in the Regalia, All-Star Chevrolet down in Olive Branch, Jim and McElroy and Associates, and Capitol Grill.
Again, thanks to all our great sponsors, and thanks to everybody here at Courage Through Cancer as we are broadcasting live from the back porch here at TPC Southwind. We're overlooking the putting green and getting ready for what should be a great, great day. We got a lot still to get to. We haven't even touched on the World Cup that wrapped up yesterday, the British Open, won by a surprise, Ryan Fox. Got plenty of Major League Baseball to get into as well. We'll take your calls in Texas. Brett said, Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines, 901-360-8255. Any thoughts on the Grizzlies falling in the championship game of the Vegas Summer League 94-90? You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, July is by far the best month to drive to the mountains, to the beach, to anywhere in America, from sea to shining sea. It's also the best month to come out here to All-Star Chevy and Olive Branch to pick out a new Silverado, any new Silverado you want, because Olive Branch is where all the new Silverados are. And listen to this, no interest for 5 years, no payments until maybe Halloween, because your good credit deserves it. Military and first responders, you get an extra $500 bonus. And how about the new Traverse with the third row seating? Yeah, They got that. And for all your commercial and fleet needs, All-Star Chevy is the top-rated business elite dealer. Express cargo and passenger vans are here. So check out this huge, and I mean huge, pre-owned selection. Equinox, Tahoes, Traverse, Suburbans, and so many Silverados. And if you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it here to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. Together, let's drive. Don't miss the best sale of the summer event going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
The Sherwin-Williams Summer Sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off our newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
It's time to get your backyard ready for the ultimate pool party with a little help from Family Leisure. If you've been sitting on the fence about taking the plunge with a pool, now's the time to take the dive. You want an above-ground pool? Done. Starting at $39.99, and that's with installation. You want an in-ground pool? Take your pick. They start at under $50,000. Accessorize that pool with a patio furniture set starting at just $9.99. Outdoor sectionals? They start at $12.99. In fact, all in-stock patio furniture sets are priced to move. And with select patio furniture sets, you'll get a free umbrella and base. Okay, you aren't looking to get into a pool just yet? Family Leisure has hot tubs that start at just $34.99. Get in shape or stay in shape with a swim spa starting at $16,999. Get your backyard, front yard, side yard, whatever, ready for fun. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, for family and fun come together.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
That's me in the corner. That's me.
Welcome back, everyone. As you mentioned, Eli, the Protect College Sports Act will be one of the first things that the media asks Greg Sankey in about 9 minutes or so when he hits the podium in Tampa. And perfect timing, Pete Thamel reporting with his sources that the latest discussions about the Protect College Sports Act's most scrutinized section, realignment restrictions, has a new focus. The discussion centers around leagues being capped at 19 programs. The Big Ten is currently, they have 18, and the SEC has 16. I don't know why you would cap at 19. First of all, capping, number one, but number two, at an odd number like 19 makes no sense to me.
Because they don't want them to do it. They don't want them to go to 20. That's the fear, is they're both going to 20, and that's the breakaway with 40 teams. And so they're trying to prevent that from happening.
That's only a number. 38 could still be a breakaway. But Thamel goes on to say for a league to leave a power conference to join another, they'd have to play 5 years as an independent. The group of 6 schools would be allowed to move up in the latest discussions. And we talked about this on Friday. Said the current version of the bill was set to freeze all of the leagues making more than $700 million, and that was met with strong pushback. I don't think they're going to be able to pass this at all, even with a cap, even going up to 19. I think you have to prevent that. They may have 20 in their minds, and I've always said 20, but it could be 19 if they wanted to do that. So it's just stupid. It's really dumb in my opinion, but Thamel reporting that. All right, so we don't have a lot of time, but there is a report that came out yesterday from, let me look this up to make sure I give the right, Jim Callis. Jim Callis covers Major League Baseball. And yesterday he reported that Will Brick from Christian Brothers High School has signed with the Blue Jays for $2.5 million.
Great for him. Again, the report was once they drafted him that they were going to overpay him for his slot, which was a little over $500,000 for that slot. But the plan for them was to overpay him. Didn't know exactly what that meant, but that's awesome for him. Great for him to be able to get that type of money as a fourth-round draft pick.
I got more on that when we get to the start of our second hour with my Memphis sports fact. But again, the only person I've seen report that, Jim Callis, who covers Major League Baseball, not yet covered, I think, locally. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I haven't seen it reported yet locally. Also, speaking of local baseball, Hunter Goodman, friend of the show, had another humongous game yesterday, hitting 3 home runs, knocking in 5 runs for the Rockies. His second 3-homer game of the year. Do you know the only player in Major League Baseball history to have 3 3-homer games in the same year?
I do not.
He's a Cubby.
Sammy Sosa.
You are correct, sir. So Hunter is now at 30 home runs on the season. Now, there was a story out over the weekend, trade rumors, that the Yankees are interested in Hunter Goodman. Doesn't mean that Colorado's willing to give up and trade him, even though they seem to be one of the teams that would be in a sell mode going into the Major League Baseball trade deadline.
Yeah, I don't know why they would trade him. He's a guy that they have control over for a few more years, and obviously he's been very productive for them, but I guess if the Yankees want to make them some crazy offer, then you have to look at it.
We'll have more baseball news later on in the show. When we come back, we open up hour 2. We'll talk British Open. We'll talk World Cup. We'll get back into the NBA and the wrap-up of Summer League with the Grizzlies lost to the Warriors 94-90. We'll have some special guests out here as well as we broadcast live from TPC Southwind and the Doug Barron Courage Through Cancer Golf Classic.
Folks, Central Barbecue, they've been serving up great barbecue for a long, long time at all of the various locations around town. You can get some of that great barbecue on a daily basis, but now at the original location, 2235 Central Avenue. It's no longer that original building. It's all brand new as far as the building is concerned. But at that location, 2235 Central Avenue, you can head on by there right now and enjoy some of their delicious breakfast. Breakfast is available daily from 7 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. at the Central Avenue location of Central Barbecue. Biscuits, breakfast burritos, toaster sandwiches. You can find it all at Central Barbecue, the Central Avenue location. Then, of course, once breakfast wraps up and they start serving up that delicious barbecue, you can also find a full bar at that location as well. The OG Bar, serving up mixed drinks, wine, and local beers as well from 11 a.m. until close every single day. One of their signature drinks is their Tiger Margarita. You can go by and check that out. Try that out at Central Barbecue, 2235 Central Avenue.
You are tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Let Bryant Dacus and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon. Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey Memphis, Kayla Clement from Memphis Softball. You work hard for your money, so choose a financial team that works just as hard for you. Southern Security Credit Union offers great rates, personal service, and a local touch you can trust. Visit southernsecurity.org or call 901-452-7900 to join today. Southern Security Credit Union, your home team credit union, is a proud supporter of the Memphis Athletics and 901 Women and is federally insured by the NCUA.
Frame Corner, custom framing your art since 1975, is your go-to for precision designs and craftsmanship. Bring your cherished collectibles, fine art, and sports memorabilia to Frame Corner and experience expert customer care with attention to every detail. Specializing in framing and displays of sports jerseys and items ranging from little leagues to the big leagues, SEC to the NBA. Visit Frame Corner, 5035 Park Avenue near Mount Moriah, or online at framecornermemphis.com. Frame Corner, Memphis' top pick for custom framing.
When you run a growing home service business, you roll with the punches. More trucks, more techs, more jobs.
and suddenly your team is drowning in spreadsheets, manual work, and software that can't keep up. There's a better way. Service Titan is the all-in-one operating system designed to help you scale the right way. There's a reason Service Titan customers increase their revenue by an average of 15% every single year. Get the software you can't outgrow. Go to ServiceTitan.com to learn more.
Since 1948, in the Alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still a bit of volume up here southbound. Austin Peay trying to get on that ramp on I-40. Watching it build even more now. Westbound I-40 there at Watkins. All that traffic around that 101 connector here in the last few minutes. Just trying to get through that road work over there around Warford and Hollywood throughout the day can be a challenge on I-40. Hey, if you're having transmission problems with your vehicle, it's okay. Even if your light comes on, let them check it out right now at Amco Transmissions. 2 locations to serve you right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden. Weekdays from 11 to 1.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Monday, July 20th, 2026 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy on location at TPC Southwind. Jay Ham producing the program back in the Family Leisure Studios. We are at the Doug Barron Courage Through Cancer Golf Classic, which benefits St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. For more, you can go to ctcmemphis.org. Current weather. 81 degrees, but it feel like already of 91. It's humid. We're expected to get up to 96 with triple digits for the heat index. Not raining here at Southwind right now, partly cloudy, but there is some rain in the area, and there is some rain expected today and even this afternoon, possibly a thunderstorm, 80% chance of precipitation. We go to 98 tomorrow before we got a little bit of a cool down. Wednesday, 91, and then the upper 80s for Thursday and Friday's high temperature. Hour 2 of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar, right between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at GaddisJewelers.com, your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. But more than just that, for any anniversary, birthday present, graduation gift, any occasion, James Gaddis Jewelers has the jewelry for you, whether it be a beautiful watch, necklace, bracelet, earrings, rings of all types, pendants, vintage and antique jewelry, one of a kind, and they bring in all new stuff almost on a weekly basis. It's James Gaddis Jewelers, and every Monday and Friday they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know? As we mentioned in Hour 1, former Christian Brothers High School standout catcher Will Brick has signed a $2.5 million deal with Toronto. Now it ties for the highest position player highest position player after third round in Major League Baseball history. So for a player that's not a pitcher, taken after the third round, that's the highest bonus anybody has ever been given. That ties the record. So congratulations to Will Brick, headed to the Toronto Blue Jays. And again, if you're headed over to James Gaddis Jewelers, make sure you tell James and the gang that you heard it right here on Sports 56 Mornings, open Monday through Friday 10 to 5, Saturday 10 to 4, closed on Sunday. It's your family's jeweler. It's James Gaddis Jewelers. All right, the World Cup wrapped up on Sunday with Spain knocking off Argentina 1-0 with reserve Torres, goes by the one name, scoring the only goal of the game, the second World Cup title for Spain. I was actually playing golf, didn't get a chance to watch the final, but I watched a ton of soccer during this last 6 weeks. And I even watched that crazy consolation final match on Saturday where England beat France 5-4. But, yeah, soccer's a funny thing. You can have the game with 9 goals and then the game with 1 goal, depending on the talents of the team and how much those teams are into it. In the consolation game on Saturday, England, for some reason, Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane don't even start. Bellingham comes in late and gets the put-away goal for England. France didn't even want to be there in the first half and then decided, well, we better put in effort for our fans who paid great money to come here to the Meadowlands to watch. And they came back to make it a 4-3 game. They were down 4-0 at the half, and then they ended up losing 5-4. But the big game, of course, was the Sunday final with Spain winning for a second time. Really good match. Spain's defense was second to none throughout the World Cup. And look, Eli, I know it's not our favorite sport, but the World...
That is an understatement.
Yes, but the World Cup here in America and, of course, North America, not just the United States, but in all of North America, Mexico, and Canada, I thought they put on a great show. I thought Fox and their broadcasts were fantastic. I thought the soccer was really good. There was a lot of storylines. There was a lot of intrigue. And I will definitely be another customer 4 years from now with the World Cup. And I forget where it's at. Not so sure where it's at. But either way, they won me over.
Again, I mean, there are certainly soccer fans for this every 4 years that will watch. I mean, people are like every 4 years we have to go through the conversation of whether this will like spur soccer to be more popular in America.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to start watching like MLS, and they won't.
Spain, Portugal, and Morocco will be the hosts in 2030.
And to me, one of the big issues that I have with soccer, and I think that generally a lot of Americans have with soccer, is that you watch that final yesterday and it ends up going, 120 plus whatever random numbers they added on to all those quarters.
Right.
And it's a 1-0 game. Like there's just not, and Argentina literally doesn't get a single shot on goal. This is the defending champions, one of the obviously 2 best in the world, and they literally don't get a shot on goal. There was not a point where you thought Argentina might score a goal, really. Like, quite frankly, 130 minutes of soccer, and at no point did I think Argentina was going to score. Like, that's the problem. Like, I don't think you're going to create a lot of excitement for a sport in America in which there just isn't scoring opportunities. Now, Spain did have quite a few, but there's just generally not scoring opportunities in the game. Most of the game is the ball just being kicked around in midfield.
Okay, but to take the other side of this conversation, I saw more scoring this year in the World Cup matches I watched than I expected, because I'm always of that thought as well. Who wants to watch 0-0? Who wants to watch 1-0? Chicks dig the long ball, but we dig the long ball as well. The guys, we want high scoring in baseball. We don't want a 1-0 pitcher's duel. Maybe some stalwarts from the old days love to see a pitcher's duel. I don't mind it once in a blue moon, but for the most part, I want to see runs scored. I want to see goals scored. I want to see high scoring football games. I've always said, if whoever your favorite team is, college or professional, if they're going to lose, you want to lose at least in an exciting fashion. Nobody wants to lose, but you'd rather lose 45-38 than 17-3. And so I think we've always thought about soccer in that sense, and a lot of times it is, but I thought this year there were a lot of fireworks in the World Cup. Now,
but in the final, which again, that's where you're going to get
because
the
Spain's
most
such a
people
dominant
watching.
defensive team.
That's
there's not
fine.
much you could do.
But I'm saying that that's why you're not going to sell these people who are the casual fan. Like, hey, it's the final Sunday afternoon. I got nothing else to do. I'll watch this. And when you win 100 whatever minutes, before there was even a goal scored, like it's just. You're not. I just don't think you're going to win over the average American sports fan with. Now, if it would have been like Saturday, the consolation was 6-4, you get 10 goals in a game, then you might win some. Wait, they do this stuff? We actually get 10 goals scored in a game?
9, yeah.
It was 6-4.
Oh, 6-4, right.
6-4 was the final. And so, but a scoreless game into the 100th minute, like I'm watching the game, I'm like, this is boring as hell. It just is. Like, there's just nothing. It just isn't. That's not fun to watch. And I am one of those people that you're probably trying to win over and maybe get me to watch soccer some other time than the World Cup. And it's just, that game is never going to do it for me.
Well, when you see the numbers that come out, you're going to be.
I know exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. I know there's a bunch of people watching it, but those people will watch that and go, yeah, I don't care to watch soccer again until 4 years from now.
Well, there's truth to that.
That's the thing. You're not winning those people over to suddenly, like people are like, maybe this will kick off the MLS and people are going to start watching soccer. No, they're not. They'll watch whenever the Women's World Cup is, and then they'll watch the next World Cup for the men.
Well, yeah,
yesterday was your chance to win over a bunch of people, and you turned in it was a boring game.
So you're saying if it was 4-0, it would have been a lot better?
No, but if it had been 4-3 or 6-4, people want to see scoring, or at least scoring opportunity. Again, the second best team in the world, the defending champions, never got a shot on goal. Never, not one shot on goal in 130 minutes of soccer.
Right.
That's boring as hell.
No, it is boring. But here's the thing. For people around the world internationally, and some Americans as well, they look at it like anything could happen at any time. It didn't, but anything could happen in a 1-0 game. Now, the Saturday was an outlier. That was a strange game. It was 4-0. France didn't even want to be there. England doesn't even start their best players. Nobody cared. I don't care what people say. They really want to finish third. Nobody wants to finish third. Nobody in their right mind in any sport wants to finish third. I mean, when you don't have Bellingham and Kane in the starting lineup, what were they being disciplined? What was going on? They don't start. France comes out like they're not even playing any defense. It's 4-0. At halftime, I don't want to hear they had, win one for the Gipper type speech. They looked at it and they probably said, you know what? We're a bunch of, I can't even say the word I wanted to say. 4-0. This is embarrassing. Let's at least go out there and make it a match for the fans that paid great money to be there. I think finally their senses came out and they said, all right, let's play. And then England, of course, went into the retreat and they were able to score and make it. So it became an interesting game. I'm with you 100%. I want to see scoring as well. But there are some people who are like, hey, I don't mind Bob Gibson going out there and throwing a 1-0, shutout win in a playoff game or something like that every once in a while. You just can't have it all the time.
That's my point. But it's not the same as baseball, because literally on every pitch of a baseball game, the team has the potential to score. This game yesterday, in most soccer games, 95% of the time, it's not even there isn't a chance they're scoring right now. The ball's at the other, it's out at midfield. They're just passing it around. There's not even scoring opportunities.
That's what it ended up being, but that's in hindsight, because during the game, during the match, these people are watching thinking it only takes one time to throw one out there and a dude slips and he gets a breakaway and gets a goal. So they're at the edge of their seats watching because it's 1-0. You're right. In hindsight, when it's all over, you go, they never had a chance. Argentina.
I was never on the edge of my seat because I knew,
because you didn't have a vested interest in this. You were a casual fan watching, not even a fan.
Again, that's my whole point. You're not winning over casual fans with 1-0 games where the only goal, when you win 100 minutes without scoring. And again, it's not even not scoring. There was not opportunities to score. Right. Spain had it up with how many shots on goal. There was a few exciting times with Spain, but there was never a point where Argentina, where I got on the edge of my seat thinking they might score. They were never close to scoring. And most of the game, is played at midfield or at the other end of guys just kicking the ball
understand.
back and forth to each other. That is not a scoring
But they're
opportunity. That is guys passing the ball back and forth. That's four corners offense in basketball.
Yeah, I got
boring
you.
as hell. Put a shot. If they put me in charge of it, I could create an exciting game. But what they do, it's not exciting. It's just not.
Look, you know me. I've said it already about the offsides and all. I would change rules as well. But their objective was not to win over the casual fan. Their objective was to have a great tournament. They added more teams in it for 48 teams, more countries involved with a vested interest. They love their football. So it's whole different. They're not winning over you and me. You're not winning over the NFL audience, but the numbers will be eye-popping because it's the world's game. It's just not our game in this country. But for 6 weeks, I watched a ton of soccer. You're right. I'll care about watching if the Memphis women or men make a run in the NCAA. I'd certainly be interested. We'll have Brooks or Richard on the show. There's certainly something to say about that. The Women's World Cup, we'll be watching that. We'll watch again in 4 years for the men. But you're right. As far as MLS, I can't tell you I've ever watched an MLS match. I don't know if I have. Now, the old NASL, I watched when I was young because I watched when all of a sudden the Cosmos were bringing in the international players. When they brought in Pele and Beckenbauer and Canalia and all that. That was exciting because it was happening 2.5 hours from my home in New Jersey. I remember I had a Cosmos shirt. But after that, I mean, I never thought about it. I played the game, but I never thought about it as far as being something I really wanted to view because of some of the reasons you said. It is boring for people. And to me, even today, if my team wins a playoff game, if the Phillies win 1-0, I don't care as long as they win. But during the regular season, if I was to buy tickets and go to a game and I saw 1-0, I wouldn't be happy. I want to see excitement in every sport I watch. I want to see points. So I'm with you. I understand what you're saying. But that wasn't their goal. That wasn't their objective. They weren't going to win over the casual fans. But for 6 weeks, I think they did. They're just not going to have a sustainability. As it starts to sprinkle out here at TPC Southland, a little bit of rain falling. But
well,
yeah,
I know that. I mean, obviously the players don't care, but I'm talking.
I don't think FIFA cares, to be honest with you. They know they're going to get their numbers.
It's the people, the soccer people in America who every 4 years have the conversation of like, they think this is going to be the thing that turns it. And it's not.
Right.
That final yesterday is not winning over the casual fan. It was boring as hell.
No, I completely understand what you're saying. Completely understand.
And people that compare it to baseball, it's a ridiculous comparison because literally every pitch of a baseball game, the score can change.
Greg Sankey at SEC Media Day said SEC football programs averaged more than 80,000 fans per game last season. That's the highest average attendance for any sports league in the world. So there you go. There's probably a shot at soccer right there. The Premier League and other leagues, La Liga. That's a shot, I think, at them right there, indirectly. We got some news from the Michigan Wolverines we'll get to when we return, and all the things that Sankey's saying right now as he's meeting the media as we speak down in Tampa at SEC Media Days. In the meantime, I want to tell you about one of our sponsors, and that's Town Village Audubon Park, senior living in today's world, located at 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue. Offering more options to fit your needs more than ever before. They are dedicated to the long-term satisfaction and the quality of life for their residents. All they ask is that you're 55 years of age or older. You can call them at 901-537-0002 or go online to townvillageaudubonpark.com. Independent living, short-term respite stay, monthly options, great event schedule with activities galore for the residents. Everything you need to continue to enjoy life to its fullest. Some of the basic services include monthly rental with no buy-in. Apartments include full kitchen, washer, and dryer, excluding the efficiency apartments. All-inclusive resort-style dining with multiple venues. The community social area has a fitness center, home theater, game room, indoor pool, whirlpool, 24-hour pantry, beauty salon, library, computer center, and so much more. Plus 5 landscape courtyards, resident gardening areas, recreational, religious, social, and wellness activities, dog park, and gated parking. Town Village Audubon Park, 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue. Call them at 901-537-0002 or go online to townvillageaudubonpark.com. We're broadcasting live from TPC Southland. It's the Doug Barron Courage Through Cancer Golf Classic. benefiting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Yes, it's that time again, and after all, you bought or sold a house 25 years ago, and everything should be the same. Wrong. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and just like artificial intelligence, AI, it's changing the landscape. Buying and selling a home today is worlds apart from when you last did it, whether it was 25 years ago, 40 years ago, or 2 years ago. Just like getting through a jungle, you need a trusted guide who has a highly successful strategic marketing program when you're selling and who also knows the trails and pitfalls when you're buying. You may have heard of me due to the fact that I not only am the worst golfer in town, but people often say when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. Whether you're thinking of selling or buying or merely want a conversation about what to do or not to do, you can always reach me, Shell Dunn Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or email me at memphisrelocate.com. That's memphisrelocate.com or call me at 483-0546.
It's time for SEC Media Days. Join Brent Norsworthy as he broadcasts live from Tampa Monday through Thursday, previewing the upcoming SEC football season and brings you interviews with players, coaches, and SEC insiders. Tune into Sports Time with Stats and Brian Dacus from 3 to 6, and also hear from Stats throughout the day for SEC Media Days coverage on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville, Ronnie Grisani, Sissy's Log Cabin, Capitol Grill, Bangers Pickleball, and Jimmy McElroy and Associates. This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A couple of accidents in the rapid stages. Still a bit of volume as you come off the interstate there onto Sam Cooper. It's mostly coming inbound there at Sam Cooper as it gets heavier through Midtown. Right on schedule as we check it out live here at I-40 at Chelsea. Wrapping up a couple of accidents out here from earlier. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. If you're having transmission problems of any kind, even if your light comes on, let them check it out at Amco Transmissions. 2 locations right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 8:23 is the time as we broadcast live from TPC Southwind. We'll be out here in a couple of weeks for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Today, it's the Doug Barron Courage Through Cancer Golf Classic. And in a sad but ironic twist to everything, Doug, who is not here because he's playing on the Champions Tour overseas, they have the Champions Scottish Open, which they just had 2 weeks ago for the PGA guys, and then, of course, the Open Championship, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the show. That was this past weekend. After they play the Champions Scottish Open, they'll play the Champions Tour British Open. So Doug's over there for the 2 tournaments. But Doug and I did not know this until John Neal just told us, has cancer. The tournament that is named after him, which does so much to raise money and awareness about cancer and benefit several different cancer establishments that fight for children and for adults, including with the children, obviously St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and you can go to ctcmemphis.org. But Doug himself now battling cancer.
Yeah, you hate to hear that. It just sucks, but unfortunately we hear it way too many times in all of our lives about people we know and folks that end up being diagnosed. Now, the good news is that he is still continuing to play and is over there in Scotland for the Scottish Open and will be there for the Senior British Open as well. So that is good news that he is able to continue to play golf on the Champions Tour while going through this, and we certainly wish Doug the best in his battle.
By the way, my bad, Mario. We missed you there. If you wanted to call back, I know you wanted to say something about the World Cup. If you guys want to comment on the World Cup, the Grizzlies wrapping up Summer League with the tough loss to the Warriors, the British Open, anything that's on your mind in the world of sports, hit us up at 901-360-8255. You can call in or you can text in. We were talking about the World Cup in our last segment.
Got one texter who said, Eli is spot on about soccer. See you in 4 years.
Yeah.
Or when's the Women's World Cup? 2 years?
2 years.
Is it 2 years from now? Another texter says, now you have lacrosse taking over in Memphis and other southern states where it used to be less popular, taking even more players away from soccer in the United States.
See, I don't buy that. They're taking away players. There's enough players. There's enough players that come from other countries that now are citizens of the United States that played soccer as their first sport. No, I don't agree with that. As far as lacrosse, no, lacrosse is gaining steam. Believe me, Maryland, big in lacrosse, that whole region big in lacrosse. But I don't think it takes anything away. I don't want to use that excuse. Now, if the United States had gone farther, if they had beaten Belgium, would they want a few more fans over? Maybe. Unfortunately, the way they lost was critical, but it's just not going to be the beloved sport that it is internationally. And I understand the texter saying that he agrees with you wholeheartedly because you're not going to watch more than likely Major League Soccer. You're not going to watch these friendlies that happen all the time, seemingly, leading up to the next World Cup. Just not. It's not going to happen.
And quite frankly, I'm more interested in the Women's World Cup because we're good.
Have been good. Not sure if we were that good the last World Cup. I'm trying to remember where we went in that last World Cup. But, yeah, soccer took a major step forward in the States with the Mia Hamm group, with the women winning the World Cup. It was great. But even after that was done, it was, okay, see ya 4 years later.
The Women's World Cup is next year.
So it's 1 year after. That's the schedule they have. Probably want to even it out a little bit more.
And that will be in Brazil next year.
All right, so 2027 for the Women's World Cup. All right, big news from Michigan.
And we host in 2031 on the women's side.
Okay, and that'll be a big event, but that's 5 years from now. With the SEC Media Days going on, how about Michigan and the Big Ten kind of stealing the thunder a little bit today, as it was announced that Ward Manuel will step down, but not until the end of the calendar year. It's just a little strange. Was it Ward saying, "I'm just stepping down, I'm moving on," or was it a forced decision? And if it was a forced decision, why wouldn't it happen now? Is it because it's too close to the start of the season? It's very interesting, but it was last week that we were supposed to get some kind of word on Ward Manuel, and they had their meetings in Ann Arbor, and that didn't even come up. It was reported that was going to be brought up, and more than likely he was going to be let go, and it didn't happen. And so now Ward Manuel will step down. That's the word that's out there. The school will conduct a full national search. They say that details of the internal investigation into the athletics department will be released. So again, Ann Arbor stealing some of that SEC Media Days thunder today.
Or they're trying to hide behind other news in the world of college football.
That's another way to look at it.
That's the way they're trying to do this. Is like, by the way, while Greg Sankey's talking and all that stuff, we're going to make this announcement.
Yeah, they have released the outline of the investigation into the athletics department and their findings. Famble reporting that in apparent response to not making their $12 million internal report public, Michigan released a basic overview with few specific details today amid announcing Warde Manuel's departure as AD. The report identified failures to quickly and effectively act on allegations of wrongdoing by athletic department employees. It's amazing how much of a mess it's been in Ann Arbor over the last, 5 years? And they've won a national championship in football and a national championship in basketball. For fans, I don't care. Who cares? Who cares who's running the athletics department? Who cares what hanky-panky's going on? Who cares who the coaches are? Just give me the championships. Give me the chips.
Yeah, fans don't care at all. Even if theoretically they went back and vacated championship, they don't care. That does not matter. They just want to be a part of the championship run. And that's probably why Warde Manuel, it took this long for them to actually finally do something to Warde Manuel's, because they were winning.
I'm looking for, it's amazing because now my timeline's been taken over by Michigan, and I'm looking for more from Greg Sankey, who again went on at 8 o'clock. So he's been on for a half an hour. And I would imagine he's getting close, if not having already wrapped up. Let's see. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey. No one has created the weekly competition that exists in the Southeastern Conference. We believe we're the best conference of college football. Why does he always feel that he has to continue to say that?
Because he's the commissioner of the SEC Conference.
I know, but
that's his job, is selling the conference.
He doesn't have to be Joe fanboy. Everybody knows they're the best. Well, the Big Ten has won the last 3 in football, and they won basketball this past year. So that's the argument for right now, current events. But overall, I think most people believe it's the SEC and then the Big Ten. I can't speak for everybody out there. But Sankey to be, again, a guy who has to be a rah-rah dude, I don't want to hear about the rah-rah. Tell me about the future. Where are we going in college football? What's happening with the playoff? What number are we going to? Are we staying the same? What's happening with this Protect College Sports Act? I want to know about those things. Give me your opinion on those things. I'm sure he's dancing around that stuff.
Again, as far as the playoff goes, he's made it quite clear where he stands on it, so there's not much to say.
Well, not so much just where he stands on it, but if he thinks something will be done with the Big Ten. How do those meetings go with the Big Ten when he talks to Tony Petitti? Let's see, on how real breaking away from the current NCAA structure is if legislation cannot be passed. Sankey, it's real. I do not believe that this is a leverage point. Those comments represent a high-level frustration with circumstances. That's pretty serious right there. So, in other words, they can't pass this act or a similar act, and we've talked about what Tuberville had brought up, and get congressional help to fix the ills of collegiate sports. Then Sankey is basically saying that, all bets are off after that. All bets are off. We need this. But he's also dictating, him and Petitia and the powers that be, to Cruz and Cantwell what needs to be in and what needs to be out of the bill that they are putting together, that they have written and that they continue to tweak. So it's almost like, why don't Sankey and Petitti get in a room and they write up the bill exactly the way it needs to be? As long as they're not excluding the group of 6, which I don't believe they want to, because they want the opportunity to expand, just like the group of 6 schools, not all of them, but a number of them want to get into a power conference. And to limit it, as I mentioned earlier, to 19 because of the round number of 20 is what freaks out people in Congress, I guess. I don't get it. I don't understand that. I don't care. As long as there's not a breakaway, I don't mind. I don't care if conferences have 24 teams. I don't really care. That's fine. more the merrier. If it's a financial boon, then they will bring more schools in. That's simple. If they are able to get more with their revenue dollars from their media rights packages with particular teams that they can bring in, they will do it. If not, they won't. They're going to bring somebody in just to bring them in, just for a certain amount of number of teams.
If they're trying to put the stuff in that Dellinger talked about earlier, with it, you'd have to be going from one power conference to another. You have to be independent for 5. Like, there's no way that's going to be in there. Like, the Big Ten and the SEC aren't going to want that in there. They're not expanding they're not pulling group of 6 teams. They're only expanding by pulling other power conference teams.
Right. Oh, that's right. That's a good point.
You're basically telling them they can't expand. Again, you're going back to what it was originally, singling them out, essentially saying you guys can't expand. And so it sounds like
it sounds like a Notre Dame provision. You might as well just say Notre Dame.
What do you mean Notre Dame?
Notre Dame's independent. So they would be able to go right away. Whereas the other schools have no chance. They're part of conferences.
It's trying to protect the Big 12 and the ACC is what it's trying to do. They originally tried to do it by just singling out the Big 10 and the SEC, saying you two can't expand.
Right.
They complained about it. So they lowered that number of how much money the conference had to make, where then include the ACC and the Big 12 couldn't expand. Now, nobody was happy because that doesn't make sense. Now they're trying to go back to, all right, fine. You can add group of 6 teams, but you can't add another power conference team unless they spend 5 years going independent. That is back to singling out the SEC and the Big 10, which the SEC and the Big 10 are not going to stand for the things they're singled out for.
I wouldn't either. Even though to some people it may sound like greed, it's not. And I am not concerned that the Big 10 and the SEC are breaking away. I am not concerned with that. Now, do I think one day there'll be 4 power conferences of 20 or more teams? I do. I do believe that will happen. But to be able to, first of all, as you said, to limit expansion, then they changed it around and now tweaked it where, okay, we'll let you look at the group of 6 teams or Notre Dame or Connecticut, who's also independent, right? But not anybody else inside a power conference is ridiculous. There's no way this bill is being passed if you limit what the Big Ten and the SEC can do structurally with the amount of teams that they can bring in. Because then you're preventing them from max revenue if there is the way to make more by bringing in more teams. They should be allowed to do that. I'm completely against this, and I think it will fail. And once again, I'm sure Cruz and Cantwell, depending on their egos, and I appreciate Congress looking in to try to fix some of these damn problems we have, but they have to, they're trying to bite off more than they can chew. Be realistic about things. There are things that need to be fixed, and there are some things that don't need to be fixed. The possibility of expansion doesn't need to be fixed for anybody wanting to move. If they want to move, they move. Obviously within the rules and regulations of the conferences and the payouts and all that stuff. It's not going to pass. And that also is the whole, that sharing of the money. They haven't even addressed that, have they?
Yeah, I mean, the media pooling thing, again, the media pooling is voluntary to begin with. Again, and the SEC, the Big Ten, and Notre Dame could block that anyway from even happening. But they don't even have to do it, even if the others wanted to do it. The others don't want to do it if those guys aren't doing it. So really, while they don't even want the media pooling thing in there, it's not that big a deal because they don't have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Sankey asked whether talk of the SEC breaking away is real or just a negotiating tactic. They're real. The frustrations bring them to the point of saying we should look at something significantly different. That's about as direct as we've ever heard on the possibility of a breakaway, according to Pat Smith from Alabama Radio. But yeah, I'm not concerned with that. I'm not concerned with this breakaway of these 2 conferences. But do I believe again that there will be a breakaway of about 80 teams to have their own, whatever you want to call it, Division 7? I don't care. Yes, I do believe that'll happen. And you need to be in if you're Memphis. I do believe that that'll happen.
He did say that the SEC Media Days will go to Nashville next year. They're going back.
Back to Nashville? Nothing wrong with the bill.
2023 that they were in Nashville, and they will go back to Nashville next year.
How many different sites for SEC Media Days? How many different sites have they been to? They've been down to, Dallas?
They've been to Atlanta, Dallas, Nashville, and Tampa, I think now.
4?
Obviously, along with Hoover. I think that's
right.
It.
Okay. Hey, wherever they can make more money, right? Hey, everybody. July is the best month to drive to the mountains, to the beach, to anywhere in America. From sea to shining sea. The best month to come out to All-Star Chevy and pick out any new Silverado you want. Olive Branch is where all the Silverados are. And listen to this. No interest for 5 years. No payments until maybe Halloween. And your good credit deserves it. Military and first responders, you get an extra $500 bonus. How about a new Traverse with a third-row seat? For all your commercial and fleet needs, All-Star Chevy is the top-rated business elite dealer. Express cargo and passenger vans are here. Check out the huge, and I mean huge, pre-owned section. Equinox, Tahoes, Traverse, Suburbans. So many Silverados. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. So together, let's drive. Don't miss the best sale of summer event. It's going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet and online at allstarautogroup.com. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
The wait is finally over. Get ready for the grand opening of the newly remodeled Landers Cadillac of Memphis. You can shop grand opening savings at Landers Cadillac of Memphis, and you'll find there's a special deal on all the remaining new 2024 Escalades. You can get $20,000 in total savings. And they're paying top dollar for trades at Landers Cadillac. See how much you can save with the Landers Easy Pass at CadillacofMemphis.com. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Check it out. Central Barbecue has an app.
Hey, let me see it.
Don't just grab somebody's phone. Jeez.
Oh, okay, then just show it to me.
See?
Oh, wow. Simple, straightforward.
I know. Just tap on the Central Barbecue app, and you can order from any Central Barbecue.
Oh, they've got all 4 locations. They got downtown, Poplar, Summer, and even South Haven.
Yep. Place your order on the Central Barbecue app, and it'll be ready when you arrive. Your food will be ready in 10 minutes, and there are no extra fees for using the app.
Now, that is a sweet deal.
It is a sweet deal.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. We've seen days, even what seems like weeks of soaking rain, damaging hail, and even flooding. So today, do one simple thing. Look up. If you see a water stain, bubbling paint, or discoloration on your ceiling, don't ignore it. What starts as a small roof leak can quickly become mold, turning a minor problem into a major expense. At Metro Builders Memphis, our professionals will inspect your roof, assess any storm damage, help mitigate further damage. We'll measure your roof from outer space and guide you through the repair or replacement process with an estimate on site with multiple options at that. Don't let them tell you your roof needs to be replaced when all it may need is some love. We'll give you an honest assessment so you can make the right decision for your home and family. At Metro Builders Memphis, call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or simply book your appointment online at metrobuildersmemphis.com.
NST is the way to go. Call 68370.
This is Parker Trotz with NST Injury Attorneys. After a car accident, money is on the line, and that's why one call can change everything. For over 35 years, we've gone toe-to-toe with insurance companies and won billions for our clients.
NST is the way to go. Call 68370. They've got the fight, they've got the heart.
NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or visit nstlaw.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:43 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg and Eli broadcasting live from TPC Southwind at the Doug Barron Courage Through Cancer Golf Classic. Jay Ham holding down the fort, producing the program back in the Family Leisure Studios. So a little bit more on what Greg Sankey had to say this morning with his State of the Conference address at SEC Media Days Day 1. Asked about a potential 2014 college football playoff format, he said, we don't have any idea of the clear media interest of an expanded playoff. We do know and have an understanding of what happened when we went to 12. Second, the calendar is challenging.
The calendar is very challenging. That is one of the big issues. The people that want the playoff done the second week of January. That's not affecting 24. Isn't going to change it anywhere from what it is now, because you're not getting those bowl games off of New Year's Day that are the quarterfinal games. So you're going to at least have 2 full weeks after New Year's Day.
Would he have said the same thing about a 16-teamer, an expansion, which he wants?
Well, no, I mean, part of the challenge also, I mean, in getting down to that 8 that you're going to play around New Year's Day, part of the problem is dealing with the Army-Navy situation and their game on that day. The championship games, which again, the SEC still likes their championship game. He does. A lot of the coaches and others don't, but it's a moneymaker for them. So they also have to take into consideration giving up that SEC championship game and making sure they're making that money back.
I just got a text from Jason Mott, the head coach of Christian Brothers High School Baseball, a good friend of ours. Yes, it's official. So that report is accurate out there, as Will Brick has signed a $2.5 million bonus as a 4th-round pick with the Toronto Blue Jays, and will be headed somewhere in the Blue Jays organization. Will not be going to college at Mississippi State. Congratulations to Will.
That's awesome.
Isn't it awesome?
Awesome for him. Awesome for that family. And his younger brother, Nate, will be on the football field for Christian Brothers at quarterback this year, and looking forward to seeing him in year 2 as a sophomore.
The British Open wrapped up yesterday afternoon from Royal Birkdale in Scotland, and it seemed like it was anybody's for the taking that was within that group going into that final round that were within 5-6 shots. You had Cam Young, who was, 7 down going into the final round?
Yes.
Sets the pace, shoots 9 under for the tournament, and then goes and has lunch and probably a nap and may have watched a movie because he had to wait 2.5 hours to see how it all worked out in the end. Would 9 be good enough for at least a playoff? It was not. Ryan Fox from New Zealand, with an 11.5-foot birdie on 18, wins it at 10 under par. An incredible showing from Ryan Fox, who plays almost as quickly as I do, which you love to see. But that was a great win for him. Great putt. Didn't really think about it. Went up there and knocked it in.
It was amazing. I mean, nobody was birdieing 18. I think he was the 5th maybe birdie on 18 all day long. That hole's brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
Yeah, to your point, only 27 birdies all week long on 18.
I mean, again, there's so many bunkers there, and like on day 1 on Thursday, Rory hit driver and had 200 yards in. So unless you hit it perfectly on the right angle and could get it to roll and avoid the bunkers, like it was a brutal hole. And for him to step up and hit 3 perfect shots essentially on that hole, in that situation, needing birdie to win, absolutely incredible. Shot the 62 on Saturday, absolutely incredible. He made so many big putts, putt after putt to say par or to make birdie. He just made every putt he seemingly needed to. The exact opposite of what Scotty Scheffler did all week long when he just could not make putts. Did end up making a couple of them on Sunday, but it was too late. He had the weird ruling on Sunday as well that a lot of people were going to have a problem with if he had ended up winning it, but he comes up a little bit short. Of course, he had the whole Bryson DeChambeau thing. But, for Fox tied for 85th after the first round, tied for 52nd after the second round, to end up winning it the way he did. Just an amazing, amazing performance over the weekend by him.
Fox 10 under, Young 9 under, Burns 8 under, Scheffler 7 under. Again, a 8 under 64 for Cam Young on Sunday. Not enough. We'll get to Bryson DeChambeau here in a second. But your 4 major winners in 2026: Rory McIlroy, who defended his title at the Masters, Aaron Rai, Wyndham Clark, and now Ryan Fox. A little bit surprising. No Scotty Scheffler.
I mean, just it speaks to the depth of the fields. Like, these guys they're all really freaking good. I mean, like, guys like Ryan Fox, like, he was ranked somewhere around 50th, I believe, before this win. Like, he can go out there and do that. Like, that, they're that good. And it is great. I mean, I love watching Ryan Fox play like that on 18. Like, it's almost funny because, like, the TV coverage, like, almost doesn't keep up with him. Like, they got to be ready because, like, normally anybody with that putt on 18, they're taking, like, 3 or 4 minutes probably to hit that. And, like, they're showing replays of the other thing, and all of a sudden, like, they go to him, and he's already hitting the ball. Like, the producers, everybody else, they got to be ready when Ryan Fox is the guy. Like, don't miss his shot because it's going to come really quickly. I mean, it's amazing, like, in the fairways how quickly, especially if he's hitting second, the other dude hits. He is on his ball and he is hitting. He is wasting no time. It is so refreshing to watch.
He's the dude on the municipal course that hits his approach when the guys just got off they're like 1 foot off the green, and he's already hitting. The difference is Fox can control his shot for the most part and finds the green, and somebody at a municipal course drills the dudes walking over to their cart. So, yeah, I give it a little bit of time before they're off the green. No time for Ryan Fox.
On, what was it, I guess 17, where he had to wait on the tee box, like, you could tell it was killing him. Like, he teed the ball up and he was standing there and he's walking around. Like, you could tell it's just absolutely killing him. He's like, I want to hit. I cannot wait. And, on 18, he did not waste any time. He literally hit that second shot while those guys were still walking off the green. He just is not going to wait.
Now, to your point about the depth in golf in this day and age, growing up, I didn't play golf. I watched a little bit. I knew of Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Lee Trevino, Johnny Miller, the big names. And they were the dominant names. And there were some other good players. But I think, and now I follow this sport so thoroughly and love the sport and play the sport, but I think absolutely, and this is not like a bias towards the 60s, 70s, and even 80s to some degree, there were some great players at the top. But that was it. And then there were marginal guys. I think there are just so many really good players right now. Like you said, I think the depth is second to none. And there are guys every week. I mean, there's 100 dudes out there that can win a tournament. You go into a major, it used to be like, 10, 12 guys can win the major. Now it's like 50 guys can win the major. I mean, think about all the guys that still have not won a major. I mean, the new group. There's always the Montgomery and the Westwoods of old, the Kuchers. But now, these young guys, some have played several years now and haven't tasted a major. And guys get so close. So close. Sam Burns, so close. These guys are so close to winning, and they haven't gotten it done. It just tells you. Again, Scotty Scheffler, who, if he made putts, probably wins this tournament. Right? Would you agree?
He would have won by – he should have – if he's even average in putting – compared to the field, he would have won by 3 strokes.
I agree. But best player in the world does not win a major this year. They don't always win. The best players don't always win one per year. But it was very rare when Tiger didn't win a major in a year or Jack didn't win a major in a year. And Scheffler comes up short. But again, Aaron Rai, where did he come from? Again, we just talked about Ryan Fox. Wyndham Clark now has all the tools to be a guy that can win a bunch of majors. He didn't play well in this tournament, but certainly he's a decent name. And then, of course, you have Rory. And Rory was never in this tournament. The pace was set day one as he got well behind, shot, 2 over. But the story within the story, and maybe even the bigger story than Ryan Fox winning, was Bryson DeChambeau. And it got contentious and got crazy because I think you can argue that Bryson DeChambeau is the most popular player in the world. And everybody had an opinion. I'm surprised how many of the golfers gave their opinion. And Scotty Scheffler said, yeah, wait till I'm finished, and I'm going to give you my opinion. And he gave his opinion. And it seemed like to a man, except for maybe Brandel Chambly, the announcer, former player, Rory, and a couple others, that they said 100%, no chance Bryson DeChambeau was cheating, was trying to give himself an advantage knowingly. There was no way. They said there's no, absolutely 100% no way. And I'm going to defer to Russell Henley and to Scotty Scheffler and to others that said it. I think it was BS.
But there doesn't have to be intent.
I know it doesn't, but I still think it was BS. I mean, first of all, you step on one of those things that comes right back up when you're out there in the fescue. I didn't buy it. I didn't think it should have been a penalty. But it was. It was called a penalty. And then he got criticized for the way he acted afterwards, saying, I'll have to let you know if I'm going to play tomorrow. Well, the guy had the steam coming out of his ears, and he went over, and there was
no chance in
hitting
the world.
Right.
There was a less than 0% chance he was dropping out.
Because he still thought
he wants to put on the show.
Oh, see, you're going to be you're one of those guys. No,
he puts on the show. That's
so
all
you're taking Rory's word. Who puts on a show too?
Bryson DeChambeau, one of the leading content creators out there. If you don't think he's doing that for the show, then you are completely wrong.
He's also a great golfer who's trying to win.
You think he was really considering withdrawing from the British Open 3 shots back? Then that's for the show. By saying that, it was the piss off RNA. That's what it was. It wasn't for his fans. Show.
No, it wasn't. And Rory is the same type of, for Rory to say what he says about this guy, it's like all of a sudden Rory does some things that are very questionable himself. And, the whole Stones and Glass House type thing with him, man, he bothers me real. And it's not because he's not from America and Bryson is. It's just that I am, in this argument right here, I am pro Bryson and anti Rory. Rory thinks his you-know-what doesn't stink, and it bothers me.
Well, Rory admitted. Rory said, I don't like the guy.
That's fine.
He admitted right up front, I don't like the guy. And so he's going to
So he has a bias.
He's admitting that he doesn't like the guy, so he said, I'm not going to defend him. And he said when they were watching it, now I don't know who the other players were, that they all were questioning it when they watched it happen.
Don't speak if you have a bias, because we know what you're going to say.
His opinion. He gave his opinion.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Others gave their opinion.
I don't like it at all.
He admitted it up front, though, that he doesn't like him. He said, I'm not fond of him. So he's telling you right away that you can take it for what you will. I'm not fond of him. He also said, when me and other golfers were watching it live, we questioned it when it happened.
Because every shot that Bryson hits is on television, every single one. But here's the thing. Yeah, he is.
And Rory deals with the same thing. Again, I'm not here to tell you whether the rule's fair or not. I don't know whether he should have been penalized. It doesn't matter whether he intended to do it or not. They determined that he improved his swing path. They made the ruling. Is it unfair for guys like them that every shot is on TV versus other guys that is not? Yes, it is unfair. There's no doubt about it. And they may, as Scotty Scheffler said, maybe we got to figure out some things of better policing this, all that. It might be. It is definitely unfair when every shot you hit is on TV, and the other guys will literally, Sam Burns shot a 62 and was barely on TV. But every shot other guys hit, some of them will literally play an entire round of golf without one single shot being shown. They could do that 15 times around, and nobody would ever have a clue that they've done it.
I think Rory hates him because he's a liver, just like Chambly hates him because he's a liver.
And you love him because he's a liver.
And I don't love him because he's a liver. I love him because he's a showman. And I want to see showman.
That's the whole point.
You just talked about soccer.
What I said. You just admitted the whole thing.
But so is Rory.
It for the show.
That's my point.
Everything Bryson does is for the clicks, the show. He is there to put on a show.
He's also there to win, and he's that good a player that he can win, and he was derailed. But Rory is also there to put on a show. And Rory, again, the holier-than-thou attitude, I hate it. I really hate it. And we'll see if he ends up coming to Memphis. He'll probably skip Memphis again.
He said he's playing.
Oh, good. He's coming to Memphis? Well, hopefully.
One of the guys that said that they said yesterday that he announced way earlier that he was going to be in Memphis this year.
Well, I'd heard that he would be. Bob Herrig was telling me. We were texting back and forth. But I hadn't heard an official announcement. But here's the thing. I wish, and I know it's not happening because he's on LIV, that DeChambeau was here. in Memphis, because I'd love to see that showdown again. Folks, take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis, a revolutionary basketball training facility. It combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant objective feedback with hands-on one-on-one expert coaching. You can join on a monthly basis. 2 locations, 85 Market Street in Collierville. That's the original, where they have the shooting bays with the Shoot 360 technology. You can call them and set up a tour, or just have any questions you want answered. They can answer them for you at 901-316-5500. In Cordova, Big Orange Road, 901-779-3176. That's where they got all the bells and whistles, the 50,000 square foot facility. They have the 4 shooting bays with the Shoot 360 technology. The coaching you get is second to none. Coaches that have been at every level, including the NBA, and that analytical information. Every time you put up a shot, you're getting the analytical feedback. So while it's 100 degrees with the heat index out here, you'd rather be putting shots up indoors, controlled environment, and you could do so on a monthly basis at Shoot 360 Memphis. It makes for a great gift for a birthday or whatever the case may be. Get yourself a loved one a 6-month membership or a year membership, but you don't have to do that. You can join month to month. The future of basketball training is here at Shoot 360 Memphis. Hour 3 on the way as we are broadcasting live from TPC Southwind and the Doug Barron Courage Through Cancer Golf Classic. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, Sid.
Yeah?
You know what's coming to the Peabody Hotel, right?
What's coming to the Peabody Hotel? You have got to tell me.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh. That is so cool and amazing.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
For those that watch the stock market, the real estate market also has its watchers, like me, Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. Right now I'm seeing the listing inventory increasing and the contracts and closings not keeping up, which puts us in what is labeled as a buyer's market. That is why it is extremely critical that you obtain the best advice and expertise when you're considering the sale of your home. And that is what I do. To make your home a sweet spot, where buyers are drawn to you like bees to honey, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure I am one of them. Find out about my highly successful strategic marketing program that can help you sell your home quicker at a better price. Remember what people often say, when you want the job done, call Sheldon. Call me at 483-0546 or email me at memphisrelocate.com. That's right, relocate is in my name. memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
It's time for SEC Media Days. Join Brett Norsworthy as he broadcasts live from Tampa Monday through Thursday, previewing the upcoming SEC football season and brings you interviews with players, coaches, and SEC insiders. Tune into Sports Time with Stats and Bryant Dacus from 3 to 6, and also hear from Stats throughout the day for SEC Media Days coverage on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Brought to you by First National Bank and Trust, Jason's Deli, Gould's Salon and Spa, Jim's Place in Collierville, and All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. As that volume of traffic increases, pretty much on schedule up through Midtown on 240 North here at Lamar. Couple of accidents in the wrap-up stages. It's busy, right on schedule with that volume westbound I-40 coming past Germantown Parkway all the way down to Sycamore View Road. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck having transmission problems. Let them check it out today at Amco Transmissions. 2 locations to help you right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings.
Morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:04 the time. Our third and final hour here on this Monday, July 20th, 2026 edition of Sports 56 Mornings. We're broadcasting live from TPC Southwind. It's the Doug Barron Courage Through Cancer Golf Classic. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy. Jay Ham producing the program back in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure at 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40, where family and fun come together. Weather-wise, I'm staring at sunshine here at Southwind. Right now it is 84 with a feel like of 95, and the high temperature today will get to 95, so that heat index will climb into the triple digits. Showers early with isolated thunderstorms arriving for the afternoon. However, the chance of rain, according to the weather report, or the weather channel, I should say, has dropped from 80 to 50%. So not everywhere in the Mid-South. Our listening audience, wherever you may be living, may not necessarily be hit with the wet stuff, but there is that possibility. We've talked about the Grizzlies, and we'll get back into that a little bit later on in this hour. We've talked about the World Cup and the British Open. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. We've talked some Major League Baseball with Hunter Goodman's huge game yesterday. Will Brick's decision to, and why wouldn't he, sign with the Toronto Blue Jays with a $2.5 million bonus there. There's some other baseball news, Eli, including some tragic news. Dwayne Ward, who was one of the relievers, ace relievers for the Toronto Blue Jays during their run in 92-93, unfortunately came at the expense of the Phillies the one year. He was in Toronto as Saturday. They unveiled, or it might have been yesterday, a statue honoring the 92 and 93 teams. And so he got there on Friday, and Todd Stottlemyre was part of those teams, and he posted a picture, a photo of all the guys, including Dwayne. And he's there, he's in Toronto, and then word came Saturday that he's dead.
Yeah, that's it's awful.
I mean, just horrible news. He dies at the age of 62, and of course, the ceremony continued, and with heavy hearts with Dwayne Ward's passing. But yeah, I saw that. It's just, my gosh, you just never know. The Red Sox win their 13th straight game. That ties for their second longest winning streak in team history. What has happened there? That turnaround.
They have they got something figured out. I don't know what it is because they're still dealing with the injuries, and especially with Roman Anthony still out, everything else. But they have figured some things out, and now they have just got red hot, and that's all it takes to get themselves right back into the playoff picture for sure. Especially in the American League with the way that a lot of teams have struggled. They're not a bunch of teams over 500, stuff like that. So they have put themselves right back in a good spot as far as the playoffs are concerned.
One other baseball note: Pirates rookie Esmerlin Valdez hit his 12th home run yesterday in his first 31 games of his career, and he has 31 RBI, so averaging a run batted in per game. That's a pretty good way to start your career. They've
got a lot of young talent in Pittsburgh, which they should, after trading guys away and drafting very high in the draft for many years. It's all coming up now, and an opportunity here over the next few years if they might be willing to pay some guys, which they already paid Connor Griffin. But they've got a chance maybe to cash in with all of this young talent all arriving now at one time.
Yeah, can they keep the talent? Anybody can go out there and get the talent. Can you keep the talent? And really, it's the keeping of the talent that's the most important thing. And unfortunately, for a long time, they haven't been able to do that. All right, getting back to our lead, and that was the Grizzlies falling to the Warriors yesterday in the championship game of the Vegas Summer League, 94-90. If you're just tuning in and didn't have a chance to talk about it, you want to talk about it with us, you can hit us up with the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255 by calling in or texting in. The Grizzlies now 1-2 in Las Vegas Summer League championship games. It was a game in which they had a 10-point lead after 3 quarters. And then down the stretch, they faded, and Yaxel Lendenborg said they puckered up, and you know what? And they choked. And the Grizzlies, while having their opportunities and having a lot of talent, probably more talent than any team in the Summer League, ended up losing that game. But as we both concluded, it was a very productive Summer League. We saw what Cam Boozer was capable of doing. That was not a surprise. We were surprised that Cedric Coward and Boozer played as much as they did. Coward just once again showing everybody what type of player he can be and hopefully will be. So that was good. You saw Javon Small taking a step in a positive direction. We didn't get to see much of Kareem Lopez, just the one game for 11 minutes. But overall, really good results from the Summer League for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, really good, I think, just to see Coward end on the note that he ended on, in 5 for 5 from three-point range last night. The last 2 games, both were strong. You know, he had struggled shooting the basketball early on in Summer League, but over those last 2, the semifinals and the finals, he goes 9 for 15 from three-point range, and basically right at 50% overall from the field. You know, Boozer had the poor shooting night in the semifinal when he was just 3 for 13, but still posted a double-double in that game. Last night goes for 19 and 8. Those guys do the thing. The other thing I liked last night was Coward with the mic'd up. ESPN had him mic'd up for the game, and you really got to see or hear his leadership. I mean, he is clearly developing that voice as a leader, and felt with his experience and being an all-rookie guy last year with that group that was one of his big responsibilities was to be a leader. And I think it's great to see that. I mean, this team certainly needs leaders to step forward, and it appears as though Cedric Coward is more than willing to be that guy.
Yeah, look, I thought that all along, but I didn't realize how outgoing and really ahead of he's like Cam Boozer. Cam Boozer just turned 19 years old. He's like a 25, 26-year-old out there. Coward also, to me, seems like he's a 5-year NBA veteran. He takes guys under his wings. I really love what he showed. So I think it just maybe reaffirmed to me what type of guy he is, because I had heard about all this. But to see that, I was incredibly impressed as well. And it doesn't mean that the Grizzlies have to have one leader or one face. But I certainly think Coward is that guy, not by default. I think earning it. I don't think it's Edey. I don't know how Edey is as a leader. Edey's a very vocal guy on the court and all that. And then, Cam's only a kid. Ty Jerome is a veteran that who knows what his long-term future will be with the Grizzlies. So I think it's very important for Cedric Coward to step up and be that guy. Now, they haven't named a captain yet, have they?
No.
Because it was Jaren Jackson Jr., right?
I have no idea who the captain was.
Maybe I'm crazy. I thought he was. But if there is such thing as a captain, I think Cedric Coward is the candidate to be it, in my opinion. Even though he's only going into his second year. Even though he was supposed to be at Duke last year with Cam Boozer, I think what you just said reassures everything. So we got that reassurance from a leadership role, plus what he was able to do. He had a couple of games where he didn't shoot the ball that well, but he was terrific. And he should be. He's a starter in the NBA regular season compared to some of these dudes that aren't going to smell the NBA. And then Cam Boozer is also going to be a starter. He was exactly as advertised. I mean, exactly as advertised. So that was good. And like I said, Small, I think, showed me an awful lot. And when they got to make those moves, I just don't think Walter Clayton Jr. is going to be a part of their future. Who's a guy who I think the story isn't written on him after 1 year. Utah and then on to Memphis in that Jackson trade. But he certainly is struggling a bit in the NBA for that first year, as opposed to what he did at Florida as the pure leader and go-to guy in the crunch time. But he didn't show much last year, and not being able to play summer league, I think, really hurts him. And so I don't know. I don't know if he'll be a part of this team. I mean, they got to make, 3-4 roster moves?
They got to make, 5 right now.
5?
I think it is.
Wow.
I can't remember where they are exact number-wise now once they sign Lopez, which they haven't, I guess, officially done that yet. Yeah, I mean, I think Clayton right now is clearly number 4 on the point guard list. But, we'll see what happens and how they want to make these decisions, and maybe whether it's going to be buyouts of guys that have been acquired who are cheap little buyouts, whether it's going to be trades, how they go about reducing the roster crunch, and it may be that Clayton, and again, they can also still they can keep Small on a 2-way contract for the start of the season until they're forced, if he ends up, when he plays enough games or is active for enough games, to have to put him onto a regular contract. But so they do have that option with him, is that they could still go that route. And so, and again, it could be that Small starts the year on a 2-way contract, and by about the time that he's getting to that point where you would need to put him onto a regular contract, you're getting close to the trade deadline, you move on from Ty Jerome, and then you open up a spot for him to get a regular contract. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways they could go with that, but certainly, I think at this point, Walter Clayton Jr. is very expendable, whether that's a trade to somewhere that somebody may want to take a look at him, or a buyout, but there's also plenty of other buyout candidates that can reduce this roster crunch. So a lot of decisions to be made between now and the opening of, really not between the opening and the opening of the regular season, because they could take 20 guys to camp, but there are certainly decisions to be made.
Well, that's interesting. So if they went that route with Small, and you have Richie Saunders, who won't be playing, but he's got to be accounted for, and then Carson Cooper, who was really good yesterday, and they've already signed him to a 2-way, doesn't mean they have to keep him. To me, that adds up to the possibility of Meshack not being a part of this organization.
Well, again, if Saunders isn't, I don't know when Saunders is going to be healthy, but if Saunders isn't healthy, again, they don't have to put him on a 2-way contract. They could just do what they did with Meshack. They just start him on a G League contract till he's healthy. I mean, it could work out timing-wise that Javon Small reaches his number of games. You trade Ty Jerome, Javon Small goes to a regular deal, and then you put Richie Saunders onto a 2-way deal at that point.
Because they control his. They control him because they drafted him. They control his rights.
Draft rights.
They have his draft rights, so he doesn't have to be signed to a 2-way. Interesting. Okay, yeah, you're right. That's the Meshack thing.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Year.
I don't know when Saunders exactly is supposed to be healthy and ready to go. He tore that ACL.
I think it's a couple of months after the season starts.
Probably it was late this season, probably February, I would guess, something like that.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's probably, I would guess, around the new year.
Yeah.
At best is when he's going to be healthy. So again, it could all work out timing wise. And again, by that point, they may decide that Meshack or Cooper or whatever, these 2-way contracts, it's like, who cares? if we don't like you, we'll give up on you in a heartbeat and put somebody else there.
Yeah, I was very confused last year with Meshack because he wasn't able to play with them in the summer league. Not because he was injured, something contractually. I didn't understand that whole thing with Meshack. But then I understood what you said. He didn't have to be on a 2-way. He could just be on a regular G League contract, and then.
Meshack played in the summer league. He could play in the summer league. He did play in the summer league. He was late joining the team because the trade had to be officially go through. It was one of those trades that couldn't be officially approved.
I thought he didn't play at all last year in the summer league.
He just couldn't be in camp with them.
Okay, gotcha. By the way, the quote, if you missed it, from Yaxel Lendenborg, and look, let's give credit to Yaxel Lendenborg. He loves going up against Cam Boozer. There's something about him. I think Golden State's got a really, really good player. I've been high on Lendenborg for several years when he was at UAB, and I know Memphis was beating UAB. I just saw that guy, and I go, that is an NBA player, even before he became like a known commodity. But he's already, I'm sure, upsetting a few Grizzlies fans. Even though it was Summer League and it doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. Lendenborg, again, if you missed this quote about the Grizzlies, man, their butts got tight. They puckered up. You know what I mean? Some of us are built for the moment, and some aren't. So already he joins the ranks of Draymond Green and others that Grizzlies fans are like elephants. They don't forget. And I'm sure Cam Boozer doesn't forget either. Cam Boozer was upset. He was upset at himself. He was upset at the team that they lost. They didn't look at it as just, hey, man, Summer League, first time in an NBA uniform. I'm just going to – he went out there on a mission, and that's what I love about that guy. It's in his DNA. But he had his opportunity. He got that straight-up look, top of the key three off the screen and pass from Coward, and he missed it. And then the throwaway by Omax. Again, that's a veteran player making a horrible cross-court pass. Overthrew Boozer. That was bad. But then, as some fans would point out, officiating was questionable, especially on the N1. On the rebound and the putback. Not an N1, but the rebound
on
and
the timeout. The timeout should not have been. They should not have gotten the timeout. That should have been a turnover. Because, again, she granted the timeout to the coach. And on the view from underneath the basket, you could clearly see that by the time he signals and calls for the timeout, Lendenborg had already lost the basketball. Now, if you wanted to say Lendenborg may have called the timeout before he lost the basketball, whatever. But they did not grant him the timeout. She granted the coach the timeout. And on that view, you could clearly see that he called it after Lendenborg had already lost the basketball.
So he tried to physically call the timeout because he took the one hand off the ball and was trying to figure, can you not verbally just call timeout?
You can, and I'm sure he was trying to, but then the ref wasn't hearing him, and that's why
then
he
went
was
to go.
trying to signal it.
But when he did that, that's when Boozer.
If you want to say he called the timeout before he lost the ball, he may well have. I don't know, but she granted the timeout to the coach, and the coach did not call the timeout before Lendenborg lost the ball. You could, like, the view shows it. Like, you could see exactly when he yells for a timeout, and by that time the ball is already on the floor, and Boozer is picking it up.
SEC Media Days, we had Brett Norsworthy on at 7:25. He'll be on each and every day except Friday this week at 7:25 talking SEC Media Days. Today, Missouri, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Kentucky. And some of the coaches are now starting to make their rounds, including Missouri coach Eli Drinkowitz. He said, let's see. Missouri's Eli Drinkowitz said, part of the reason the Big Ten has won the last 3 national titles, when you don't play a non-conference A4 game.
Yeah, that's the big issue that the coaches have, is that, yeah, they've gone to 9, and they still have to play the power conference team, whereas the others who complained that they didn't go to 9, the Big Ten doesn't have that rule where you also have to play the extra power conference game.
Yeah, but I would love everything to be unilateral, everything to be the same, but it's not. Now it just sounds like sour grapes. They beat you.
Well, again, the thing, if the Big Ten wanted to complain that, well, they're not playing 9 conference games, this isn't fair, that should be the same. Well, now they've gone to the same, but you don't have the same thing as them outside of the conference. So you complained that it wasn't equal, but it's now not equal the other way.
I know. There's always going to be somebody complaining because it's not, again, equal across the board. That's what I'm saying. But so it is what it is, and all you could do is tip your cap and say, well, we're still the best conference in our minds, and we're going to come back, and we're going to stop that streak at 3, and we're going to win an Natty this year. And we'll be talking more about it this week. Who's the best team to end that Big Ten streak? We'll talk more about that as the week progresses. But, again, Tennessee today. It'll be interesting to hear what Josh Heupel has to say about the quarterback situation. Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kentucky.
Got a text that asked in last night's game, were they still just shooting the 1 free throw? Yes, they were. And that was that was actually very costly to the Grizzlies last night because they went only 4 of 8 at the free throw line. Boozer missed 2 free throws. And I think both of the ones he missed were both 2-point free throws because I don't think he shot in the final 2 minutes. So I think both of those were 2-point free throws that he missed. But they had 4 for 8 from the free throw line when, again, generally they're all worth 2 points. That is a very costly thing. as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, I said earlier and misspoke. I was under the understanding that they went back to the regular NBA rule for the free throws, and you corrected me. They did, however, go back to the NBA rules for fouls because these guys were allowed 10 fouls. I don't even understand the reason, but I guess it's because they don't want them to foul out. They want them to be out there and play. But if you have 10, man, you battle and go crazy for 9. You got 9, you're still in the game. But they went back to the regular 6 fouls and you're out in this particular game. But they didn't change the free throws. By the way, do you think that will ever happen in the NBA?
No, as I've said before, no. I don't think there's any chance whatsoever. They're not going to. That is too big of a change for them as far as records and things like that go. They're not.
So the history part of it would be disrupted.
Again, it makes it. Like last night's game took an hour and 45 minutes. Like, that's awesome. Like, I love that. But they will. No, I don't see them ever even coming close to doing that in the NBA.
Even with replay and challenges and things of that nature, I never look at a basketball game and say, oh, it's taking too long. I'll look at football games. Of course, baseball, you never know. You can have an hour 58 game and a 4.5-hour game. So that's a little bit different. But I never look at basketball and say, man, this is going so slow. I don't know why. Basketball's never bothered me as far as the length. What's the average length of an NBA game? Jay Han, you may know this.
Probably 2 hours and
like
20 minutes, something like that now.
2 hours, 2 to 2.5.
Yeah, somewhere in between, probably more like to the 2:15, 2:20. But I never look at basketball any level and go, man, it's taking too long. So I'm not bothered by that. But that's interesting that it was that quick of a game yesterday. Lawn Solutions is a locally owned weed control fertilization company that serves the greater Memphis area. Brandon Holly and his team of pros have been at it for years and years, and they can take care of your lawn. Go online to lawnsolutionsinc.net or call them at 901-867-5626. Locally owned, family operated. They control the weeds by what they call applying pre-emergence during the winter months and post-emergence during the summer months. This is what they use to control that germination of weeds. So when spring is sprung, there's no weeds because they have taken care of your lawn all year long, including the winter months. Now, they can take care of any disease your lawn has, any insect infestation, crabgrass, dandelions, grubworms and moles, and now the bagworms are everywhere. They are a real destructive pest. Lawn Solutions has a 100% success rate in getting rid of the bagworm. So whatever it is, any disease your lawn has, insect infestation, let Lawn Solutions take care of it for you. LawnSolutionsInc.net and call them at 901-867-5626. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. You're tuned in to Sports 56 with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, the 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
When it comes to Kia, we got it covered during the summer sticker sales event at Gossett Kia on the Pike. 2026 Kia K4 LXS $299 a month, $34.99 to its signing. 2027 Kia Seltos LX $269 a month, $37.99 to its signing. 2026 Kia Sorento LX, we got it $319 a month. And 2027 Kia Telluride only $449 a month, all 24-month lease $39.99 to its signing. And 2026 EV9 $12,000 off MSRP or get 0% for 60 months. Plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Come see Bobby J and get your new Kia today. Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition PK4TE 349.9980. MSRP 24,825. Seltos V 5010936. MSRP 27,130. Sorrento TG 55570. MSRP 34280. Telluride VGO 42305. MSRP 44655. EV9 TG 00765. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 must finance through PFA. Excludes tax, filing license, and approved credit dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/26.
If there's one thing you can count on, it's 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. And if there's two things you can count on, it's your smoke detector battery dying at 3 a.m. Not 3 p.m. on a Saturday when you have nothing going on, but in the middle of the night when you're fast asleep.
Oh, come on!
Get 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Just one more thing you can count on. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Old Dominick Distillery invites you to have a sip of Memphis.
Discover downtown Memphis and raise a glass to the city's history with free distillery tours through September 7th. Locals and visitors alike can book a free tour of Old Dominic's downtown Memphis distillery, where you can learn how award-winning spirits are made from grain to glass. Old Dominic Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominic.com.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just want a fast cash offer, call Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty at 901-257-9420 or direct at 901-319-0747. Looking to buy? Bubba will help you find that perfect home. Thinking about selling? Don't just stick a sign in your yard and hope for the best. With Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty, you get maximum exposure, serious buyers, and real results. Want speed? He'll buy it as is for cash. Want top dollar? He'll list it. Either way, you win. Call Bubba Sandifer at 901-319-0747.
After a crash, insurance companies want you to settle for less. NST doesn't play that game. For over 35 years, we've won big for Memphis families. Injured, the call is free, and you don't pay unless we win. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning!
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here, 9:30 out at TPC Southwind, where today will be the Doug Barrett CTC Classic, as we played some golf, raising money for St. Jude and the West Cancer Clinic and a lot of other folks. And it's great to be out here, great to be a part of it, happy to be a part of it. And again, thanks to John Neal and everybody at Curse Through Cancer with all the great work that they do in putting on this event and other events to continue to raise money for that and helping out those folks who have to go through that fight with cancer. Some other things from the NBA Summer League. Malik Thomas, again, another strong finish. He ends up leading the Summer League in scoring. He had 24 the other night, 10 of 20 from the field, and he ended up averaging what I think was like right under 28 a game, I believe, for Summer League. Was a leading scorer in the Summer League. He was fantastic. Keaton Wagler finally had a good game the other night. He had not been shooting the ball well at all. He had 26 the other night. Braden Burries, probably, of all of the point guards,
yes,
Burries probably was the most consistent guy at Summer League.
I only watched him one time, and I loved what I saw, but reading everybody else who was watching this, like every game, they said Burries was the best. He was the not the most consistent. They said he was the best of those point guards.
Like, Acuff had good games, but he struggled shooting the basketball quite a bit. Burries did, I think, and Burries still had a couple of nights where he didn't shoot it well either, but seemed to be probably the most consistent shooting it as far as those point guards, that group of point guards. Again, he was the fifth, I guess, technically of that group.
He was the fifth Beatle. Brown had some good games. Brown shot the ball well in certain games.
Nate Ament had 12 and 7 the other night. Again, he is of those guys, like, I don't think he's probably the least ready right now. Everybody knows he's got to get stronger. Like,
absolutely,
that's just part of his thing.
Put on some muscle.
Again, so what they get out of him in this first year is nothing really compared to what he can be down the road when he does get stronger. Steinbach, Hannes Steinbach, now he was consistently good. That dude was, he looks like he is the kind of the beast that they think he is coming in.
He's NBA ready, like Cam Boozer. He's NBA ready, Steinbach.
He's a big boy. Christian Anderson, another one of those point guards, did not shoot. He is another one that struggled shooting the ball a lot out there. And again, coming into the draft, it was like he was supposed to be the best shooter because he had done so well in the combine and he'd been doing great in workouts shooting the three ball. And then he got out there and he couldn't make threes. He wasn't like Dalen Swain, who couldn't make a shot at all, but he couldn't make threes once he got out there, which was interesting. But Charlotte's going to be an interesting team with those two guys coming in there. Obviously, all the changes they made with their roster after having a pretty good year last year. Again, they're not going to compete at the top of the East. But Charlotte is an interesting team to watch for 2 or 3 years from now to where this goes.
I'm interested in a lot of teams in the East. And I know the East has had champions recently. You've had Boston. You had last year the Knicks. You've had the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis, who's now in Miami. But we always seem to poo-poo the East a little bit, probably because of where we are and covering the Grizzlies, and the West was so loaded. But the East now, I'm not necessarily saying they've taken over the West, but there are a lot of intriguing teams. Charlotte, you're absolutely right with the moves they made. They were already fun to watch last year. I talked earlier about Atlanta, the trade they made to bring in the great defensive player Lou Dort. Got Ryan Nembhard as a backup as well in that three-team trade yesterday. But Jalen Johnson I love, so I love Atlanta. There are some other teams that I think are very, very intriguing of what we can expect to see. I'm curious about, you brought up Malik Thomas, and I can't wait to see his career, where it goes, because, I've been tooting his horn for a long time, since like last year in the season with Arkansas, but knowing he was going to be second fiddle to Acuff. And he was great in the summer league. Means nothing. Doesn't mean anything. But he's with Cleveland. And Cleveland's in that mix for LeBron. And Patrick Beverley, for what it's worth, and he may know, Patrick Beverley says LeBron is expected to make his decision today. He's not going to make his decision today. If anything, he would make his announcement today. He's made his decision. But if it's in Cleveland, and then they got to re-sign Harden, and then you have Donovan Mitchell, I wonder if Malik Thomas will get any PT.
Shoots the ball and scores like he did in Summer League, he will.
He deserves it.
They'll find a way. They will find a way to get him on the court. Again, for him, it's great because he can just be a shooter. Like, he ain't going to have to do anything else. Just be a catch-and-shoot guy. And with those guys, they'll create open shots for you. You'll get open looks if you're at Cleveland.
The president of Courage Through Cancer, our good friend John Neal, has joined us here at TPC Southwind. And the question, John, is, do you have any kind of pact with Mother Nature? Can you take what we're looking at right now and what we're feeling right now, package it for the rest of the day?
You are the only person I've talked to anywhere that says it's going to rain today. It's already rained. That's what they're telling me. Are they scaring me now?
No, I'm just reading the Weather Channel.
It broke. It's broke.
Yeah.
It looks. There's blue
it looks
that way.
great. It looks great.
There's a 100% chance of rain today because it rained.
It already rained. So we're past that. And it cooled me off, and it only turned us into a broiler out there now. So we got that.
Hey, man, I'm not the bearer of bad news. I just read this every day. I read what it says here and in fact, I was doing a different app, and my wife, who you know,
yes,
she said, do the Weather Channel. They're always right. So I do the Weather Channel, and it talks about rain all this morning and other rain this afternoon. And right now we're looking at absolutely gorgeous weather.
Well, the pact is this. I'm the whitest person you've ever seen in your life, so God's protecting me right now with shade. So that's number one. But no, there's no pact today. I just think that what happens when we have events like this, where we're raising awareness and raising money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, God always gives us the assist on things like this.
Absolutely. Now, you, as we've talked about, Courage Through Cancer, you raise money for people dealing with cancer, whether it be kids with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, whether it's the West Clinic, also with
Baptist Cancer
with
Center.
Baptist. With different events you do, what do you just decide that this event will be for West, this event will be for St. Jude? How does that work out?
Basically, it came from meetings with their staff on what they are interested in, things they weren't doing. Everybody says, well, St. Jude has the AutoZone Liberty Bowl golf tournament. I said, yeah, but it's going after a different audience. We know that St. Jude is synonymous with golf tournaments. We have the FedEx St. Jude Classic here in 2.5, 3 weeks. And except for last year, because of whatever reasons that threw us all, I think it was the Olympics or something like that threw us all in disarray. But we always are 2.5, 3 weeks before the FedEx St. Jude Classic.
Well, the course was closed last year. You couldn't play the golf course.
That's what it was. I knew there was something. I couldn't remember.
The course was closed until the tournament.
But they always have let us play this tournament 3 weeks before the FedEx St. Jude Classic to give everybody that couldn't play in the Pro-Am an opportunity to play the course in tournament-like conditions. And so we are fortunate enough to be one of the two tournaments St. Jude throws their logo on locally for us to come out here and raise money and raise awareness for the kids. And more importantly, have actual St. Jude kids here, survivors, taking pictures with all the players today. And that's going to be one of the best things about it because people are going to see what their money actually goes for.
It's great. And you've got a ton of sponsors and folks that are helping you with this as well. And again, when you're raising money and doing these things, you got to have that.
Oh man, tell me about it. I mean, AB Jets has been with us from the beginning, and Andrew and David have been incredible partners with us. The Earl Brothers, a Tag Truck Center, joined us about 3 years ago, and they've been incredible sponsors for us. And now Heavenly Hounds has been, without a doubt, the most impactful on Courage Through Cancer as an organization and our services that we're going to be expanding over the next several years. But listen, we have so many restaurants that are providing food. We have, gift cards that are being done throughout the city from different places. And look, we've done almost $55,000 in sponsorships alone for this tournament, which has blown away anything we've done in the past. And you got to realize we're a 100% volunteer organization. So for us to be able to get volunteers to go out there and get people involved in this, it's a miracle that we're able to do this.
It takes a village, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, listen, I trust me, I can't do it alone. I just tried for the first hour here. I can't do it. So if everybody showed up, now we're good.
The website is ctcmemphis.org. When they go on that website, what are they going to see?
They're going to see a story of survivors. They're going to see some people that are no longer with us but had inspiring stories that inspired another person to keep going and keep fighting. Basically, if you know of somebody that's dealing with cancer right now and they're down in the dumps and they're needing a little pep talk, go to our website. You can type on what type of cancer you have, and all the videos will pop up that are related to that cancer. And maybe there's somebody that can give that cancer patient a message today to help them get through their treatment, to get through their fight. Because that's all that we're trying to do, is inspire the next person up so they can take on this battle with the same courage and inspiration that the others before them did.
That's the thing. That's, a lot of people, unfortunately have to kind of go through the fight by themselves. They may not have family here locally or whatever. And, I can imagine that would certainly be a lonely place, and anything they can get to just kind of lift their spirits and urge them on is a great thing.
And that's pretty much our events. When you come to them, listen, so many people have gone through the hard times with cancer. Our events are just a blast. They're a basic, gigantic party to celebrate the human spirit. I mean, that's what we do. Right? It just is. I mean, they've already gone through the fight. Now let's let them celebrate it, and let's inspire that next person up. So, and for people that don't have that support group, that don't have it, that's pretty much where Courage Through Cancer steps in. There is somebody that you can reach out to that's lived in your shoes, that can tell you how to get through it. And if we can help one person get through the day like that, then we've done our job.
You never know who, you never know when. Your tournament is called the Doug Barron Courage Through Cancer Golf Classic. We all know Doug. Doug diagnosed not long ago with cancer.
That's correct. And it's right now, it's under control. He's still living his life. He's over in Scotland right now getting ready for the Champions Tour version of the Scottish Open, and he's going to be playing in their Senior Open Championship the following week. He's not letting this disease, pigeonhole him and tell him what he has to do. He's still going out there fighting. And Doug has been involved with Courage Through Cancer now this is our 6th year. He wanted to be a part of something that can benefit not only the kids of St. Jude, but friends of his like Jerry Finney, like your daughter-in-law Dory, and so many others that have preceded him that have fought through it. And one of his closest friends and mentors, Lauren Roberts, who's also a 2-time survivor, is also a big inspiration for him as well. So we can't thank him enough for being a part of this with us.
How many golfers? You got full field today, right?
Yeah, we were capped at 30 teams because the tournament's coming up in 2.5 weeks. So they don't want us tearing up the course too bad. And God knows that's why I'm not allowed to play. I'm kept on the side.
That's you can't tear this course, but the course. Yeah, it's the opportunity. Like I said, get to play this course.
Yeah.
In tournament like conditions is awesome.
Right. Well, listen, man, I'm just telling you the weather's opening up. You're looking out there.
It's beautiful.
It looks like we're going to have a really good day. If it rains later, okay, it may cool us off for a little bit, but it's a great day for a great cause. We've got tons of contests out here. People can come out here, walk around, and just look at this beautiful course today. And also we have
Tatum Walsh, professional golfer, is right here.
Yeah, because we want to
share that mic. Because
I'm going to give it to her. I got to give her a little props real quick. This great organization called Backswing has brought together this wonderful woman to come here and try to kick the butt of everybody that y'all are playing with today. And if y'all win, well, she's going to give you a prize, but if you're not, you have to run laps without your cart or something like that. I'm going to let her go over the rules and stuff.
If it comes to running, I'm out.
But I'm going to let her take over from here.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Tatum, welcome. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you guys?
Doing great. So we hear that you're going to be out there on the 8th hole with a shot for every team that comes through.
Yep.
And
that's
we can use your shot.
Yep. So I'm doing a little Beat the Pro contest. So we'll all hit a shot, and if they get closer to the hole than I do, they win a little prize.
Okay.
That won't happen.
I was just going to say,
that's the goal for me today.
Does that ever happen?
You want to go undefeated? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm trying to go undefeated.
Well, when we
today.
come through, give us a break.
Oh, maybe I'll be nice.
Tatum, tell us a little bit about you and your career.
Yeah. So I graduated college last year, and since then I've been trying my career as a pro. So I've played in a few professional golf tournaments. I do this as my little side gig, so it's super fun meeting a bunch of new people and traveling to these events. Backswing's a great organization, and I've loved working for them.
Are you from here, or where are you from?
I'm not. I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia.
Okay, and where'd you go to school?
James Madison University.
Oh, JMU.
Okay.
Yeah, JMU. Go Dukes.
So how many of these do you do?
I try to do as many as possible. I mean, probably once a month I get to travel around and do these events. So yeah.
How many players are within the organization that mix and match at different tournaments?
They're all over the country. So it's girls like me who are trying to play professional golf or have in the past. There's probably 200 of us around the country. But yeah, they send us out to these events wherever they are. So yeah.
So in doing these, how many holes in one have you made doing this?
I haven't made one.
Oh,
yet,
you haven't made one
but
yet.
I'm hoping today is my first day.
Do you have
Today's
one?
the day.
How do you have any in your career?
I do. I have 4.
4. Okay. In
Four.
all were
All
they
in
in like,
tournaments?
all in tournaments?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
In
So-
college tournaments or professional tournaments or
College.
Oh, that's awesome.
I haven't made one in my professional career yet.
So what's the steps now for you to get on the LPGA tour? What do you have to go through to qualify to have an opportunity to get your card and all that?
Yeah. Every fall there's a Q school or qualifying school. It's a series of tournaments. There's 3 stages for us and to get to the LPGA or Epson Tour. So pre-qualifying, that starts in end of September, and then it goes all the way through November, I believe. So it's 3 sets of tournaments, and then you progress to each stage, and that depends on what kind of status you get on either the Epson, which is kind of like the Korn Ferry Tour,
right.
and then you can get all the way to a full LPGA card.
How many times have you tried it?
I've tried it once last year. I missed so I went to pre-qualifying stage and I missed it by two shots.
Okay.
So yeah, that's down in Florida. So I'll be going down to LPGA International at the end of September.
Very
Try
nice.
again.
Awesome. Well, we look
Yeah.
forward to seeing you out there on the 8th hole today.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Let's do it.
All right.
That's Tatum
Maybe
Walsh.
maybe you'll make the hole in one for us today.
I know, that would be awesome.
Thank you, Tatum.
Thank you.
Tatum Walsh joining us here on the program. Professional golfer, going to be out there helping out, and we appreciate that.
I can use her help on the 8th hole. The 8th hole out here, I struggle with. That green is
Tough green.
Ever since they redid that hole, my hitting that green percentage is probably about 5%. I just, for some reason, that just does not work well for me for that new setup of that hole.
What I'm shocked about is we're, 3 weeks away from the FESJC, and they're letting us hackers go out there? Hopefully we won't ruin the course, because the course looks perfect. Absolutely beautiful. And as you mentioned to start the show, all the tents are up, and I'm sure they got some finishing touches over the next couple of weeks, but it looks like it's ready for the tournament with the big grandstands and the big tents, the media tent I can see right now out of the side of my eye. So certainly they are about tournament ready here.
Fleet Feet, that's the place to go to get all your running gear. Want to make sure you got shoes that are just right for you, whether you're running, walking, exercising, just if you're on your feet a lot, you want to make sure you got great shoes. And if you go see the folks at Fleet Feet at either one of their 2 locations, they'll make sure that you've got shoes with all the proper support in the right places for you. You can go see them in the Laurelwood Shopping Center in East Memphis. They're also out in Collierville, not far from here, at Poplar and Houston Levy, next door to the Hueys. You can go see them at either one of those 2 locations. They'll get you fitted with those proper shoes for you, plus any other gear that you need. They've got you taken care of. All you got to do is go by and see them at Fleet Feet.
One final segment to go here at TPC Southland. We'll get to it right after this. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
Mid-South, we've hatched a plan for fun, so get ready, set, and drive at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. Hey, you want great MPG? We Gossett at 40 MPG highway estimate. In 2026, Jetta S just $249 a month. Jetta S $249 a month. You want it, you love it, and we Gossett in 2026 Tiguan 2.0 TS. Only $269 a month. Tiguan $269 a month at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. Plus, take a good look at 2026 Atlas SE. We Gossett now just $329 a month. $329 a month for Atlas SE. You want it? We Gossett covered at Gossett Volkswagen 1875 Covington Pike. Online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
36-month lease, Atlas TC 564,481, MSRP 41,911, Jetta TMO 312,217, MSRP 25,791, Tiguan TMO 43,763, MSRP 32,881, includes all rebates and incentives, must be financed through Volkswagen Financial Services, PF 895, excludes tax title and license with approved credit offer in 73126, dealer stock only, MPG estimate provided by EPA.
The Sherwin-Williams Summer Sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off our newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
It's time for SEC Media Days. Join Brent Norsworthy as he broadcasts live from Tampa Monday through Thursday, previewing the upcoming SEC football season and brings you interviews with players, coaches, and SEC insiders. Tune into Sports Time with Stats and Brian Dacus from 3 to 6, and also hear from Stats throughout the day for SEC Media Days coverage on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville, Ronnie Grisani, Sissy's Log Cabin, Capitol Grill, Bangers Pickleball, and Jimmy McElroy and Associates.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:50 the time. Final segment here for us on this Monday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg and Eli on location at TPC Southwind, the Doug Barron Courage Through Cancer Golf Classic taking place today. Jay Ham producing back in the Family Leisure Studios. We had Brett Norsworthy on at 7:25. We'll have him on 7:25 tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday for SEC Media Days coverage. Today, Missouri, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Kentucky. Josh Heupel is scheduled to go this afternoon. I'm not sure if that's Eastern time or Central, Eli, but 2:55. Deshaun Bishop, Arian Carter, and Jeremiah Tedlander will also be there with Josh Heupel representing the Tennessee Vols. And then tomorrow we'll be busy, starting off with Georgia and Kirby Smart and company. Gunnar Stockton among his players that will be on hand. Auburn and the debut of Alex Golish at SEC Media Days, their first-year head coach. Clark Lee from Vanderbilt, who's now a crafty veteran among SEC coaches, and South Carolina, Shane Beamer. He will bring his quarterback, Lenoris Sellers. A lot of these schools do bring their quarterbacks, not every one of them, though.
Now, I think there's 9 quarterbacks there this year, something like that, if I remember correctly. But obviously there's some big-name quarterbacks that will be there, and I assume Lenoris Sellers was there last year.
I think he was.
I'm sure he's. I don't know how he wouldn't have been last year. But guy that certainly there's a little bit of pressure on this year to bounce back after the year that he and they had last year.
Brett had brought up when he was on with us Austin Simmons, who is now the Missouri quarterback, and I think most people around here know his story. At Ole Miss, injured, Trinidad Chambliss takes over. The rest is history. He was one of the representatives for Ole Miss last year. And Brett said, wouldn't that be something if he was, but he's not, with Missouri today. Has there ever been a player in the history of SEC Media Days that was with one team at Media Days the next year he was with a different team at Media Days?
I have no idea. But certainly in today's world, it would not be a surprise at all for it to happen.
Right. And if it didn't happen in the past, it's going to happen in the future, right? The odds are that it'll probably happen in the future. So as that's going on with SEC Media Days, Michigan, big news. And yeah, you can take it two ways. As you said, maybe it's to kind of squash this big news because under the guise of what's going on with the SEC. And then other people can look at it and go, what are you trying to steal the SEC's thunder? But it's not good news necessarily. Warde Manuel is stepping down at the end of the year. Some may say that is good news. But he will be stepping down at the end of the year, not this scholastic year, but the calendar year. Michigan also released a sanitized, they're calling it, summary of its $12 million internal investigation. Think about that. $12 million. They put into an investigation of their internal affairs. $12 million. I don't think Jim Rockford was on the receiving end because he's like a couple $100 a day in food. Or anybody in that business of investigating collegiate situations, my God, do they make money?
Well, I went through the Tom Mars,
yes,
how much it would have to be, per hour. It's ridiculous how much it would have to be per hour that they were charging for that.
Investigators and consultants, good business to get into because there's always so much going on anyway in collegiate sports.
Oh, this was a law. It's a law firm.
Yeah, certainly with law firms, but my gosh, $12 million? Did they eat lobster every freaking day? But Warde Manuel done. I still don't get why he's not out now, but my only guess would be is that I don't think this was a Warde Manuel, I'm just going to step down out of the kindness of my heart. I got to think he was forced out, but maybe they didn't want to draw even more attention to the situation by having him ousted now with the season right around the corner.
I'm sure they want a transition period.
Well,
even that they found the things, and there were obviously issues with athletic departments enough to get him out. But they have won 2 national championships in the 2 prime sports, and so he's done some things right. And so this gives him a chance to have a transition period.
Well, do you give him credit, or do you say they won despite what was going on? There was some irregularities, to put it nicely, going on with both Harbaugh's football program and then with what happened with basketball. But it's certainly a trade that every fan would take in a heartbeat to get the chips. John Mateer now meeting the media in Tampa, the Oklahoma quarterback, on playing with a broken hand and thumb injury last year. I cringe when I watch the film. It wasn't easy. I had to adapt. I thought it was a very good year for Oklahoma. Venables was on the hot seat. They go ahead and they get into the playoff. And I think now this year, as Brett said, Brett Norsworthy, that it's probably very important. Not that he'll get fired, but very important, I think, to get back if they can. And they will certainly be one of the big factors in the SEC. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, great option today for lunch or for dinner. It's always great to have that delicious slow smoke barbecue. They've been making it for 40 years. And they've also been catering that entire time. You have an event coming up, you want it catered, let Corky's cater it for you, starting out as low as $7.99 per person. They have lunch specials every day. You can grab yourself a third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99 when you purchase an entree at lunch or dinner. Maybe their barbecue sandwich, which is delicious, or their award-winning catfish plate or any other entree. Party packs that start at just $7.49. You can't beat that. 4 locations, Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. Open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. That's going to do it for us today. Want to thank Brett Norsworthy for joining us. Of course, John Neal for stopping by, and for professional golfer Tatum Walsh, who we'll see out there on the 8th hole. Want to thank Jay Ham for producing from back in the Family Leisure Studios. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. We're back tomorrow, back in studio, starting bright and early at 7 a.m. We'll have Brett back on at 7:25. We'll talk golf with Mickey Barker, Humdinger's Trivia, all the Tuesday regular stuff tomorrow on the program. For Eli Savoy, for Jay Ham, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.